There comes a time every summer, once the NBA season is over, us three at the Deep Three have a certain season that comes into play, right? It's kind of the prime of our year. We like to call this ranking season. And guys, today is the first day of 2024 ranking season. We are so fucking back.
Listen, Jordan has fadeaways. Shaq has dunks. We have ranking episodes, right? This is what we do.
Yep.
This is a part of our game.
About this time last year is when the show really blew up and really started taking off. People love seeing our off-season content because a lot of these shows, summer comes around, people mail it in, people will take vacations, people have some weeks off, they do their normal thing. Not us. We double down on bullshit. We come out, we rank stuff, we throw stuff in tier lists, we do all the silly shit because you can do that any time of the year. So now for the next month, we're going to do what we did last year, where we're going to rank the top 30 of every single position in the NBA. And obviously today we're starting with point guards.
Let's 5 pods a day, 3 summers. You know how we do it. You know how we do it.
That's lucky.
So, if you guys saw it last year, like I said, it's a top 30 point guards pretty much based on the last season, but we all have different criteria. We always end up on some bullshit where we're trying to figure out how we all view things and if it's the same. And spoiler alert, it never is. Some of us project, some of us don't. Some of us give credit for certain things, some of us don't. Some of us care more about injuries than others. So to each their own with these lists. So don't expect consistency between the three of us. I'll say that.
Yeah. Even when we do end up agreeing on a certain criteria, we all just veer off to the side here and there for the most random guys ever.
Yeah.
So there's no
shout
point.
out personal biases.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, let's get into it.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters rejoice.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. If you're on audio platforms, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, all of that. And yeah, man, we're gonna start like always. So we're gonna start from the bottom half of the list first, going up to number 1. So the first section is number 25 through 30.
Mo, I already know your 24th point guard is disgusting. I'm ready to argue.
Really?
I don't know who you have 24.
I remember, when I think back to last year's ranking season, I viscerally remember us arguing for 15 minutes about Kyle Anderson, who was ranked 27 on the small forwards list.
It was Harrison Barnes versus Kyle Anderson is what we ended up spending. We spent 20 minutes on that.
That's a disgusting
What was you guys'
conversation.
stance on that?
I don't even remember.
Me personally, I think I'm a Kyle Anderson guy. So
no, you were a Harrison Barnes guy.
No way. I was
arguing for Kyle Anderson over Harrison Barnes, and you're like, what did Harrison Barnes do wrong? And listen, obviously, we're not going to rehash it. So Isaac, let's get into your list.
You got that one a year later.
There we go. Top 30 point guards, number 26 through 30. Starting off, I have Kobe White at 26, Tyus Jones at 27, Malcolm Brogdon at 28, TJ McConnell at 29, and Chris Paul at 30. How do we feel?
Interesting.
Chris Paul at 30.
It feels weird.
I know.
I can get with it. Right? Yeah. Okay, explain that.
Yeah.
My first 2 cuts were very hard for me to cut. Is Dennis Schroeder and Keontae George. They were the first ones off the board. I went with Chris Paul because, listen, last year, we can call it like it is, washed as fuck. He can't get to the rim at all anymore. That was already falling off the past few years, even when he was with Phoenix doing really well, was not getting to the rim. The burst is even worse than before. It's hard for him to get those mid-range jump shots that he was eating with on the Phoenix Suns. Defensively, he's just old and small. It's tough. Everything has kind of taken a step back. But, okay, he wasn't top 30 point guard last year at all, I don't think. I don't think he played at that level whatsoever. But I think that when he goes to a new team this year in the Spurs and is outside the Warriors system, he's probably back to being a starter, back to being the primary ball handler. I think he'll look better. I don't think the Warriors system did him any justice, right? It was a weird fit that was done for money reasons to dump the Jordan Poole contract. And they made it work as best they could, but he was a 6th man. It was strange. I feel like this is me giving him credit that he'll be better next year.
Isn't it crazy that Chris Paul was just an all-star 2 years ago?
Dude, yeah, he fell off fast.
This low.
And that's how it goes.
It goes quick. Yeah. Okay.
Kemba Walker went from star to China within 18 months.
Hey, RP, shout out Kemba Walker. Shout out Kemba
Great
Walker.
career.
I know. Okay, so the rest of your list, I think for me, like, because 27 through 30, you can have them in any like format. I'm assuming at 27 you're talking about Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones.
Yeah. I would have Tyus Jones and Kobe White a little bit higher. I think what Kobe White showed last year is very, very promising. And there's a lot of teams around the league who could use a guard like him. And if you want to say, hey, he has to come back and show it for a full season, he did it, pretty much for like a really good portion of last season. So I think that what he did was kind of real. I agree. But yeah, I think 26 is just a little low for him, but I'm not upset at it.
Yeah. So, I agreed. It was hard whenever I have that in my mind of him being a most improved player candidate, looking fantastic. The burst was really finally able to show in a productive way, right? He's being practical with his athleticism and using it to be productive. But when I compared him to the guys right above him, like, spoiler, my 25 is D'Angelo Russell. When I could really compare him and D'Lo, I think I wanted to go Kobe White pretty easily because, like I said, he's coming off of a great year. But I was like, a great year of improvement for Kobe White is making him in the same tier as a guy like D'Lo, who's a veteran, already been making those leaps. So I feel like if we're projecting a little bit, Kobe White will probably take another leap next year and be better than these guys. But we'll talk about the names above him specifically. But I think the other guys in the next range are just already on that similar tier, while maybe being stronger defenders or stronger passers, while Kobe White is still mainly a scorer.
Okay.
I can see that, and I can understand that. All right.
Who's your next five?
At 30, I have TJ McConnell. I wish I could go ahead and put him up higher. 29, Dennis Schroeder. 28, D'Angelo Russell. 27, Mike Conley. And 26, Marcus Smart.
Ooh, there's so many names here that I have hired. This is
so different.
This tier low-key looks like my next tier. Like, Smart, Conley, and D'Lo this low are crazy to me.
All right. So what's the craziest thing that you guys see so far?
I think Conley being at 27. Yeah. Conley being at 27 is a bit low. Even D'Lo, like, listen, we all know D'Angelo Russell's limitations and I guess lack of performance in the playoffs. 28 is still like, come on. Like, you still have to put him above that. So I think those two I'm looking at is like, all right, bro, come on.
I don't blame you though for counting the playoff shit because he is like certified playoff dropper, like in a very tangible, repeatable way. So I understand really holding that against him. I didn't hold it as much, but I get it.
With him, when he's a playoff dropper, it's like he does nothing else really valuable on the court. Somehow, some way. When your shot's not falling, of course, that affects your playmaking skills. And I see it directly with him, even though he's an above average passer. But just, I guess maybe I have a little bit more bias towards him, and because of the letdowns that he's had for the Lakers over the last 2 years, I dinged him a bit. Because when I look at guys like Mike Conley, like, he doesn't have to go ahead and hit like 5 threes to make his impact and presence felt. You will feel that through his pace of the game and the important passes that he's going to be continuously making, how he's orchestrating the offense. D'Angelo Russell does not do that, partly because of his team and role and whatnot. And as for Marcus Smart, maybe I should have dinged him lower too, because obviously last year he didn't play that much. He was alongside Ja and everyone else on the sidelines, bro. But
they all just fucking died.
Yeah, the Marcus Smart that we like usually know is a good point guard and can make his presence felt without his shot falling, which doesn't fall more times than not.
With D'Lo, it's tough because everything you said is true. The letdowns in the playoffs, like he's been a detrimental reason to why they can't beat the Nuggets. He's one of their most important starters, right? One of their better players. Him going from one of the better role player point guards in the league to absolute zero has been like the number one reason why they can't beat the Nuggets. I think you need production from that spot for how much they pay him, but you got to balance that with the regular season where he had a really good year. He shot 42% from three and he shot 69% at the rim. That's pretty fucking high. Now he doesn't get to the rim that often because he doesn't have a burst, but he's really good when he gets there. Defensively, not great, obviously. I don't think he was horrible in the regular season, but in playoff series they fry him. They know how to attack him. In the regular season, though, I think he holds his own. Like you said, really good passer. I think his presence has been so important for like Anthony Davis the past couple of years. This year we were talking about AD and top 5 convos. A big part of that is because D'Lo knows how to feed him. They have a good connection there. He has enough regular season value that I can't put him this low.
Around this range for me, like I sit down and I'm just like, bro, you would thrive as a sixth man. You would absolutely eat as a sixth man. And right below him, ironically enough, Dennis Schroeder and TJ McConnell, some of the better sixth men in the entire NBA.
When I spell McConnell wrong in here, it's tough.
So you spell Schroeder wrong too, but who cares?
Oh yeah, but I moved up to H.
Yeah, I was gonna write Dennis Scrotum to troll you, but I was like, let me just go ahead and be professional.
Yeah, listen, I made these graphics super fast. You're gonna have to deal with the spelling errors, yo. But no, I'm interested to see your next tier because you have 3 players here that are in my next tier, so I'm really wondering who you put higher to push these guys down.
Yeah. Now that I really look at it, I think I may have been hating on D'Lo a little bit too much just because of the sour taste in my mouth and the last time I saw him.
No, I get it. Same with Marcus Smart. It's hard to grade him when people haven't seen him in so long. There's always going to be some biases against guys that you just haven't seen. But we'll get to him in the next year. Yeah. Let's look at Donovan's 5.
All right, my 5. Marcus Smart at 26, TJ McConnell at 27, Chris Paul at 28, Keontae George at 29, Malcolm Brogdon at 30.
Wow. Hey, shout out Keontae George making it on there. Shout out Keontae George. I didn't get him on there, but I really, really wanted to. Debating him versus Chris Paul was tough. And I feel like there's a good chance Keontae George makes a second-year leap and is better than Chris Paul next year. I just couldn't.
That's a real possibility.
Maybe it's biased that I went towards the veteran, but it was a tough decision to not put him on there. So I respect you doing it.
Yeah, I think Chris, like, I have Chris Paul on this list for the same reason like you. Like, I think that next year we're going to see an elevated version of him. Playing in Golden State system is very, very weird. And you've seen like good players come through there and it does not necessarily be the best fit. You play a very specific type of way. And for Chris Paul, even though that he was supposed to be, kind of this bench, general and do all that type of stuff, you're still playing behind Steph Curry. It's still Steph's team when that's not how Chris Paul likes to play, right? Chris Paul is very ball dominant. He likes to have control. And that's just not the way that the Warriors do. So I think going into San Antonio system, playing with a guy like Wemby where Chris Paul can close his eyes, throw the ball up, and he's going to get, an extra 2-3 assists a game because of that, we'll probably get a better version of him. So that's why I have Chris Paul at 28. TJ McConnell, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? He's great. Great playoff performer. And yeah, I think Marcus Smart at 26, you could put him up higher. It's just the last year the whole last year for the Grizzlies was just very weird. So
yeah. He's such a divisive player. Like you understand he won a defensive player of the year award. Who cares about whether or not people think he deserved it or whatever? But like with that being said, he is one of the better defensive guards, one of the best defensive guards in the entire NBA. But on the offensive side of things is where things get really shaky and like haywire for him. So he could easily be like in the next tier. Maybe he is there for you, or maybe he didn't make the list at all for you, Isaac. But I think 26 is a fair spot considering.
Oh, he made my list. He made my list.
Okay, sweet.
One thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna value some defensive guards. I'm gonna value some defensive players for sure. So he's up higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When Marcus Smart, well, pull up Keontae. Yeah, because that's like, I think that Keontae George is in line for another leap. And he's good. You just look at his numbers and he's just all across the board. He's just not efficient enough for you to actually put him higher.
Yeah, that's why I had to come. Like Malcolm Brogdon, as currently constructed as a rookie, Malcolm Brogdon smokes him, I think. And we know Malcolm Brogdon has an issue. He's never healthy ever. But, it's a night and day efficiency-wise. Obviously, he's a rookie, so Malcolm Brogdon's a better defender, passer, all this stuff. Keontae George is like definition of like eye test. You're like, oh, this guy's gonna be special. When you look at all the numbers, you're like, oh yeah, he's also a rookie because he shoots like, again, I'm on cleaning the glass. All the numbers are blue. They're all blue as fuck, which means below average. It's crazy.
Listen,
it's hilarious.
I watch Keontae George and I'm like, that boy nice, and that's what it comes down to. That's also why I have Brogdon below. Like Brogdon was a very interesting cut. I know that he's a good player. This is something that's very consistent for me. If you cannot play on my team because you're always hurt and I can't rely on you, you are going to drop a couple steps. And that's why Brogdon is right there at 30 for me.
Yeah, see, this is a consistent argument point in our list because I try to separate health from it because I just hate when we harp on people being unlucky with health injuries so much and pretend they're not good. Mm-hmm. And you're like, listen, if you're not there, you're not there. So this leads to a lot of difference in placements.
Some people are just unlucky. And if that's you, I don't get away from my franchise.
Too bad.
I
So
can't-
sad.
I hope you all have TJ McConnell here for sure. Do you guys have Tyus Jones up higher, or did you not include him?
Yeah, I put him higher.
No, I have
put
him
him
higher.
a little higher.
I have him higher.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right, let's go to the next one
Tyus
because
Jones is here.
we have quite a disparity here between my list and y'all's in this tier.
Okay, let's see.
Mo, who's your next 5?
So my next 5 at 25, I have Chris Paul. 24, Fred VanVleet. 23, Tyus Jones.
so
I was
disrespectful.
in absolute hell trying to figure out where to put Emmanuel quickly, and I wish I put him higher. And at
Isaac,
21,
Isaac, you know what's funny? Isaac, you know what's funny? Right
What's
before, what did I say? I said, Mo, I don't know what you have, but your number 24 is disgusting. And I was right. How is Fred VanVleet at 24? That's disrespectful to Fred VanVleet.
That's so
That's
disrespectful.
wild.
Fred
That's
Van-
so wild.
Is it? He's Fred VanVleet. Is he?
Fred
so much better
Was I
than
VanVleet.
that.
sleeping on Fred?
He's so much closer to
Yes.
he's so much closer to the middle of the pack than being towards the bottom of the list. You put him one spot ahead of Chris Paul, who we're projecting is going to get better. Fred VanVleet is much better than Chris Paul right now.
Yeah, I think
on.
you're sleeping on him a little bit. I think he's closer to like the DeJounte Murray range than he is to the Tyus Jones range.
Having
Okay.
Tyus Jones above him is wild.
Yeah. Emmanuel Quickly above him as well.
I just see Fred VanVleet and like his archetype, and of course, like shoots hella threes, plays solid defense or whatever. Doesn't get to the rim much and shit like that. And I'm just like, damn, you can't really do too much with that type of player. And I don't know how far he can take you as one of the main options on the team. But of course, you don't look at him like that point blank in general. So maybe I should have had him higher.
I think he's like a premier role player. He's like a premier role player for a team that needs a point guard that'll like not elevate those around him, but be able to fit well. And like, he's a floor raiser more than anything, I think. That's why the Rockets brought him in to help get these young dudes in line because they were playing fake basketball under Steven Silas. But yeah, he had a very efficient year. Well, let me say that. Very efficient for his standards because he's not efficient at all as a little guy who doesn't score at the rim. But he had a 56% true shooting, which is about league average, and 17.4 points per game, 8.1 assists, 3.1 rebounds, 1.4 steals, 38% from 3. And he's a solid defender. Like, I just think he's a very solid player. He's like small DeJounte, I think.
Yeah, like in terms of like where you cast him in the NBA, sure, I can agree to that. I just see his play style, and I just don't like how not his play style. I enjoy his play style. I just don't like how he's casted currently in being one of the main guys. I think it's just one of those situations where he's just.
I mean, he's on a
overtaxed,
rebuilding
and
team.
To me, it looks a little worse. Exactly, I know. If you
know
put
what you
him
mean, though.
alongside like Giannis or some shit like that, or LeBron or some big wing, then I probably feel a lot different about him.
We need next to Kawhi again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The last time he had a big wing, they won a chip. So it's like I can see that. But yeah, 24 is kind of wild. Tyus at 23 is fine. Emmanuel Quickly at 22. I don't hate that.
I wanted to put Quickly higher. I genuinely have no idea who the hell is better between Kobe White and Emmanuel Quickly. Are these guys in the same exact tier, or is Emmanuel Quickly just naturally like that because of his playmaking?
They're definitely
Quickly
in the
was-
same tier.
I put Quickly a little bit higher. Quickly, I was pretty impressed by his passing when he got to Toronto. Obviously when he was with the Knicks, he wasn't in a playmaking role by any stretch of the imagination, right? He was a bench combo guard. He was averaging 2.5 assists per game for those first 30 games. But then he got to the Raptors, 6.8 assists per game. That was a big jump to me that I stood out watching, that like you could tell that he had that in his game. He just wasn't really empowered to do so. And I think Kobe White is, not really a passer at all. Like, not to say he can't. He's not a black hole. But that's not really his role. He's kind of in the role that Quickly was before, where he's like the combo guard, go get a bucket guy. And again, not Kobe White's fault. Maybe he could also make that leap if needed. But I think that's a pretty big difference in value between what they've shown so far.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I think what I did trust in more, I liked Kobe White's ability more to get downhill and use his size and
For sure.
be more physical. For sure, I think that's what leaned me more his way. But I can understand if people have Emmanuel Quickly higher because of his playmaking.
Yeah.
That's truly valuable.
Dude, Emmanuel Quickly shot 39.5% from 3 on 7 attempts per game in Toronto. That's
Ratchet,
that's
dude.
legit high volume shooting. Only problem is he shot 44% on 2s. He was just bricking at the rim when he got there. And I think that's uncharacteristically low. I think that'll get better once he gets more used to being a premier guy. That was the biggest difference, is him and Scotty Barnes both had some growing pains at creating their own shot against like tough defenses that really focus in on them, especially getting to the rim from mid range. I trust that that'll get better going into next year.
I agree.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Chris Paul's high. I respect it, but I want him to be so good next year. Maybe being next to Wemby will help him really showcase his strengths still because he's still a good passer and whatnot. But man, he was cooked last year. He looked washed.
Well, one thing you can say positively about Chris Paul is that when he was on the court, the Warriors were not seismically worse like they usually are whenever Steph is off the court, and that was an issue that he was immediately able to fix because he's just simply one of the smartest players of all time. He's not going to make too many mistakes, not take too many risks, and all that. And so, yes, like his decline in athleticism, the little athleticism that he had left in his game has completely vanished, but just simply making the right reads in that hectic Warriors offense, in my mind, still makes him one of the better point guards in the NBA today. And that's why I just put him that high, especially. And I'm also like factoring what he's going to do in San Antonio next year because we all believe that's going to be like fireworks.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope he has one more great year in the left in him. Great for his standards, obviously. Just we're not having All-Star Chris Paul walk through those doors ever again. But I hope he can do something. My next five. At 21, I got Jalen Suggs. At 22, Marcus Smart. 23, Mike Conley. 24, D'Angelo Russell. And 25, Emmanuel Quickley. Now, I can be convinced to put Quickley higher for sure. In those, I think if we project what we saw in those Raptors games and assume he'll get better at some things he struggled with, we can project him to be higher for sure. But, you know, I'm waiting to see how the shot creation against, you know, number one option type of defenses looks. Because, like I said, the 2-point percentage was terrible there. He was throwing up bricks. But also that Raptors team was very ugly after that trade. They just had a lot of guys trying to figure out new roles. And it didn't flow well, so I don't entirely blame him. But I'm going to give him time to prove it. Because I think some of the guys above him are just like known commodities and have high floors, especially in the regular season.
Interesting.
Okay. I don't hate it because I think a lot of our picks are also kind of similar in terms of this tier. The one that, you know, I'll say that I have Mike Conley higher than
let's just show you.
Wow.
All right, so go ahead and do yours.
I do. Yeah, so I mean, okay, here it goes. So I also have Quickley at 25. I have Tyus Jones at 24, D'Angelo Russell at 23, Kobe White at 22, and then Jalen Suggs at 21. Yeah, I wanted to put
Jalen Suggs high.
Now listen, I am concerned.
That's his guy though. That's his guy.
Yeah. I died on the Jalen Suggs hill last year. I'm like, yo.
You did.
If I know we say this about anybody, but if this dude can shoot fucking 35% from the three-point line, he's going to transform himself as a player and be viewed as one of the more valuable role players in the entire NBA. And he fucking did that.
And so, you were right. You're precisely right. Dude, he did that and more, right? Like at 21, I feel like I struggle with this a little bit. I struggle with him versus Marcus Smart because they're both, you know, some of the strongest defenders of the position. Jalen Suggs is all defense this year. I went with him because, like you said, he shot 39.7% from three on 5.1 attempts a game. Just a legit, really good shooter, great cutter, can get to the rim. Just a really smart, valuable player to play next to stars. And you know, we have a bias towards people that can create with the ball in their hands, but I don't always think that's more valuable because if you're a guy like Marcus Smart who can pass a little bit, do things with the ball, I've come to learn that that's not always more valuable than a guy who can fit next to other ball handlers who are more talented. But Smart isn't good enough that you want the ball in his hands, right? You want the ball in John Morant's hands, in Desmond Bane's hands, in Diomedi's hands, all these other guys. So you want a guy that can really thrive next to him.
This guy.
So you want a guy that can really play next to those other stars. And I think Suggs fills that role better. And that's more valuable to me when both of them are going to be, you know, middle tier as creators. So who's going to be the better off-ball player? And that's way more important to me with Suggs.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we have them at the same spot, but it's kind of for different reasons. Just because I think that when I think about point guard play, I think about somebody who does, like, you know, traditionally have the ball in their hands and can create for others a little bit. And for Suggs, like, I'd low-key, now that I'm looking at it, I do want to put him just a little bit higher because he's just like insane amount of dog in him.
Yeah.
But like the way that he plays is just crazy, and the way that he defends is wild. I just look at the playoff series that that the Magic just went through, and Suggs is like that. You know, he's like the point guard, but not really. And if the playmaking can take another step, I can probably see him like, you know, rising up this list.
Step, he is.
That's what I'm saying. He's like
literally.
Yeah, he's up there. I think that's the next step for him. And so you can go honestly as high as like 17 for me. Like if you want to put him in the next tier, that's fine. But
yeah, he's a legit like all defense guy. Like he's like a Caruso level defender almost. Like he's really great at that role as being a screen navigator, as being a guy who can guard some bigger players. Like that defensive value alone could make him top half of this list, and I wouldn't be mad at it. Interesting part is, they signed KCP, so you can't really have two non-playmakers at both your guard positions. So they're going to really be relying on him to, become an actual point guard. He's listed at point guard, defense point guards. He's essentially a shooting guard, right? Paolo's kind of the point guard in a traditional sense in half court. But they need him to make that leap, because if not, they're not going to have enough passing on that starting lineup.
That's 110% the truth. That's the next, as the lone person in the Jalen Suggs fan club, that is the next.
I'm with you though. I'm with you here now.
Transcend. Yeah, I feel like I'm
with you now.
No, listen. Nobody said you were wrong about if the 3-point shot comes along, he'll be great. We just need to see that shit first, and we saw it. So I'm with you. Jalen Suggs is awesome.
Yeah.
Who else stands out here? So you have Tyus Jones really high. Oh, you both have Tyus Jones higher than me. So I guess I'm in the minority there. But yeah, nobody else really talks about this year.
I'm surprised that I have Quickly way higher than you guys. To be honest with you, I thought I had him a little bit too low because of the lead that he took for Toronto.
It was just. Yeah, I don't mind it. It was just the fact that when he did go to Toronto, like stepping into that new role, he still has like, now that is his job, there's still kind of another step for him to take there. And so I just couldn't put him above some of the other guys. I think at least at this point,
I might reconsider Quickly over D'Lo. I think I might flip that if I could do this again. I think I kind of convinced myself and I really thought about it some more. So I might be a little bit closer to you.
Like,
yeah.
Between those two, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Donovan, here's your next 5. Talk us through this.
All right, here we go. So I have DeJounte Murray at 20. I have Mike Conley at 19. Cade Cunningham at 18. Fred VanVleet at 17. And Darius Garland at 16.
The biggest thing that's standing out to me is Mike Conley at 19.
That is high.
37, 38-year-old has you on a leash right now.
And this is
what is going on between you and Mike Conley?
This is
what is going on?
On a leash is crazy.
Wow.
Hey, where'd you get that blanket? Where'd that come from? I didn't even see that.
You done? It was on the ground. I just got cold.
Where the fuck that blanket come from?
You done? All right. Anyways, so I have Mike Conley at 19. Mike Conley is, especially when I think about like 20 through 30, you are thinking about guys who are just role players. They're guys who you're trying to fit next to other stars. How much can you impact the game off playing off of other high level guys? And I feel like Mike Conley, how many teams need a Mike Conley? How many teams could benefit massively and take another step if they have Mike Conley as their point guard rather than whoever that they have right now? Like if the Suns had Mike Conley, they would be on a different level. If the Pelicans had Mike Conley playing point guard instead of CJ McCollum, if you had a whole bunch of these other teams having this veteran point guard who can play next to other stars, can hit big shots, and can just not mess up and keep things steady, they would go so much further. And I think that Mike Conley slides into so many systems into the league. I'm perfectly okay putting him over a lot of other guys who are still growing and building their persona, their game, and all this other stuff. Mike Conley, and it's 19, it's fine. Like he's still second half of the league, but I like Mike Conley a lot.
Mike Conley had a 62% true shooting this year. He was absurdly efficient. Obviously on like low usage, so it's not like he was, it's not as impressive as it might seem. But listen, when he took his shots, he made that motherfucker 45% from 3. And you hating.
I can't
put him above DeJounte Murray. That's a bit much for me, but I do think, like I said earlier, there's something to the fact that people have a bias towards like, what can he do with number one option? What can he do with the ball in his hands? And that's always like the way people view it. And sometimes that doesn't fucking matter, right? Sometimes you need to be practical, and there's so much value to knowing the role a player would play. And Mike Conley, like you said, playing next to Anthony Edwards, playing next to a cat, being the tertiary guy, he can provide a ton of value in that role. And it's so important to have guys in that role. Like, it's not, the guys that play the off-ball roles aren't inherently less valuable because the ball's on their hands. Like, you need those guys. You need a Derek White. You need a Drew Holiday who can fill that space and provide the utmost value. It's like a value over replacement thing where, sure, Luka Doncic is way more valuable than the average ball handler, obviously, but some guys are way more valuable than the average role player, the average non-ball handler, and Mike Conley is one of those guys.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. I can like not to like slander him or whatever, but like Brandon Ingram was a fantastic player, of course. But there's so many teams that would kindly reject his services because he isn't as
kindly reject his services.
Yeah, exactly. Because he isn't as like, he's not as plug and play. You kind of have to deconstruct your entire offense because he is the type of guy who likes to not go within the flow of the offense and create his own flow, which just disrupts overall rhythm. And Mike Conley, he just flows with it and he helps find it.
Exactly. It's kind of like, it's why Mikal Bridges is more valuable than Brandon Ingram, right? Because he can play off ball, can play the game with the stars around him. Whereas what you said, Brandon Ingram needs the ball in his hands and need to play his specific style. That makes Mikal Bridges more valuable. And the same reason why Mike Conley is more valuable than, say, D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah,
100%.
I can agree.
So
19's
shout out Mike Conley.
But wow.
Wow, you VanVleet, you have VanVleet 7 spots higher than Mo.
Yeah, that's
I mean, of
crazy.
course.
Of course. Okay, I can.
VanVleet is good. He's a good player.
I have
You're right,
16 and a half Darius Garland, 17 Drew Holiday, 18 Cade Cunningham, 19 DeJounte Murray, and 20 Fred VanVleet.
We're seeing things eye to eye in terms of just same guys in the tier list. I like that. Okay.
Oh yeah, we got Cunningham and Garland in the same spot.
Okay.
And
I like
that.
I like that.
This was my hardest range. I struggled so mightily with Garland, Holiday, Cunningham, specifically. Those three, I rearranged like 5 times. Think about how different those players are. Darius Garland, Cade Cunningham. Well, see, Darius Garland, we've seen be an all-star. We know he has it in him. He's coming off of an unhealthy year where he really struggled because of injuries. So his stock's on an all-time low. I tried not to overreact to that, but I had to move him down a little bit. Drew Holiday, coming off of a great year playing a specific role, but so much less is being asked of him than used to. So trying to figure out how to balance that. And then Cade Cunningham, who made a legit improvement this year, but he's in the worst possible team construction that I've ever seen a point guard be in for his specific skills. You cannot have a worse team to fit around Cade Cunningham than he has right now. It's literally impossible to have less shooting around him. Like, by definition, they have the worst shooting you could possibly imagine across the roster. So how do you balance that and not holding that too far against them? Just a really hard trio to gauge.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because, like you said, Garland, Holiday, and Cunningham, we all know how good they can be. For different reasons, of course, they're just not like, they haven't reached their full potential just yet. Garland with the health issues and the Donovan Mitchell fit, and Drew Holiday, of course, he's good and he didn't necessarily regress or decline, just playing in a reduced role. And Cunningham, he's in basketball hell, and there's nothing that you can say about that other than he's in hell.
Yeah.
So I like the order of that personally.
It's tough, man. I felt inclined to put Drew Holiday the highest, right? I felt like that was the safest pick, is put Drew Holiday above Darius Garland because, Darius Garland went out sad in the playoffs, struggled in the second half of the year after breaking his jaw. And obviously Drew Holiday's a champion. Drew Holiday's one of the best defensive guards of all time, was in the running for finals MVP for the first few games. Everything on the surface looks like pick Drew Holiday, right? All the indicators are there and not get yelled at. But I just don't want to overact too much to Darius Garland having a, like I said, unhealthy year on a team that has a wonky fit and whose coach completely lost the locker room, couldn't get those players those pieces in the right places. We know who Darius Garland is, right? If we thought he was amazing at 23 and 24 years old, we don't got to pretend he's worse now that he's 25. Well, actually, he's younger than that. Move all those numbers down. But you know what I mean? Like, he didn't get worse in his 4th year.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean that's the same reason why I had Garland at 16, because honestly, like, I normally think about Darius Garland as one of the better guards in the league in terms of, and specifically being one of the point guards in the top half of the league. I just had to knock him down just a little bit, just because, like you said, his stock is at an all-time low. But I think like for the next 3 to 4 years, whenever we do these rankings, you're going to see Garland closer to like 13, 12 rather than 16.
For sure. And they're not going to do it now, but we all thought they were going to separate this backcourt. If they had done that and traded him away from Donovan Mitchell, he would immediately jump up the list. He would, if he got traded to the Spurs a week ago, next year, I promise you, he'd be like 11 or 12 on this list. He would fly up.
True.
I absolutely agree. It's all about situations, man. We got to take that into context.
Who's your 5?
Let's see what my 5 is looking like. So at number 20, I have Jalen Suggs. That's where he appears. I had him a little bit higher, but not into, crazy territory. And then after that, 19, Drew Holiday, 18, DeJounte Murray, 17, Derek White. Ooh. Very interesting right there for me. Very, very interesting. And he could easily be higher too. Same thing could be said about Drew Holiday. In that number 16, I have Cade Cunningham.
Oof. So obviously me and Donovan have Derek White higher. Obviously we have Derek White higher. But you know what? Mm-hmm. Cade Cunningham versus Derek White. Think about that specific duo, that matchup. Derek White has all the cachet to make you say he's better than him, right? He's the key part of a championship team and the most dominant team we've seen in years. And Cade is on the fucking Pistons riding away. But I don't think Derek White is more talented than Cade Cunningham. Like, it's the best situation versus the worst. That's so tough.
Yeah. Let's see how Derek White looks on the Detroit Pistons. Let's see what his numbers, his efficiency, his assist to turnover ratio looks like. I'd be very interested.
Let's see if he can get to the rim next to Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson, and Jaden Ivey. Let's see if he can dunk some shit with that going on.
Yeah. Listen, I don't make the rules. I just play the game. All right, like it's not my fault that Cade Cunningham is in Detroit. I didn't choose that for him. I would have put him in a better situation, but like we're here now, and I know what I see, and from what I'm seeing, Cade Cunningham is just not in a position to where he can fully show all of his talents, and Derek White is. And so I think that, and even like, and I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more later because obviously like I have Derek White higher, but you've seen Derek White, even in like this role, you've seen him be able to grow more than what he has been, even offensively, and like the stuff that people naturally gravitate towards in terms of being like to create on his own or knock down big shots. That stuff has also come along, as well as his defense being amazing. So like you guys said, he's in a position where he can develop and become a better player, and that just isn't the case for Cade Cunningham. So sucks to suck, but what's impressive, we'll get there one day.
To me though, is like, last year he was hurt, but this year, of course, he was hurt as well. But he had one of the more healthier seasons out of his 3-year career. He somehow, in the worst with having the worst spacing in the league, he somehow got better, got more efficient when it comes to finishing at the rim, whether it be his 3-point shot or free throw shot as well. And seeing how he's been able to, especially when he came back off of his injury during the second half of the year, seeing how he was able to navigate and literally just be the 6'7", 6'6" mismatch point guard that everyone drools over now, it feels like these days. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I feel like we scoff at 22, 7.5, and 4.3 rebounds. Like, we ignored the year he had as if he didn't get better because the Pistons were so embarrassing as an organization that, he wasn't shooting well from 3 for the first 2 years of his career. We were like, what does that mean? Because the 3-point shot is a big part of his allure as a prospect. This year, he's up to 37% on threes, excluding garbage time and heaves, which I'm looking at clean glass. That's why it's a little bit higher than his actual average of 35.5. 37% excluding heaves. Pretty good. Problem is he can't get to the fucking rim at all. And is that because he doesn't have elite burst, or is it because he has zero spacing? Probably a little bit of both, but that spacing doesn't do him any justice.
Oh, boo-hoo. Sorry, Cade. Sorry, Cade.
And like the passing is about, he's a good passer. How do you show it when everybody's in the paint and every time you kick out to the perimeter, they're missing the threes? That like he's gonna go from 7.5 to 8.8 overnight if there's just league average shooting around him.
Tobias is about to get this man a double-digit assist every single game. Shout out to Tobias Harris.
Yeah, you got
That's
Derek.
hilarious.
So you have Drew Holiday at 19. Obviously, Donovan hasn't been in the top 15. I had him at 17. Why is he so low for you?
Because I view him in the same range as Jalen Suggs.
Ooh, that's kinda
Insanely
crazy.
aggressive offensive player, or insanely impressive defensive player, but the offense is genuinely inconsistent and can be concerning at times. Now, he proved us wrong in the playoffs or in the finals, and he was one of the three names that you would select when it comes to picking him as a finals MVP. But when I look at him in a season in a totality and just his player archetype, and I just know who this dude is, because of his offensive consistency limitations, I put DeJounte, D. White, and Cunningham higher because they are other parts of their game I value more than what Drew Holiday brings.
I think the DeJounte versus Holiday conversation is exactly what we're talking about with Ingram versus Bridges. DeJounte needs that motherfucker in his hands. He needs the rock. He needs to dribble it. He needs to take his mid-range shots, do his ego style of play. He hasn't bought into defense in years, whereas Holiday doesn't need that at all. Holiday is perfectly fine taking 3 shots in a game, but locking up every single possession on the court, having a head full of steam every single time that he goes down the court on defense, locking up a Luka Doncic, and then coming back, staying in the corner like this for 10 minutes. Like, he's okay doing the dirty work, and I just think that's so valuable to winning.
Yeah,
I agree.
I can agree to that. If you wanted to flip those two, like I wouldn't care because it's literally just one spot. But I see DeJounte Murray, and I am sick to my stomach for obvious reasons. Just saw him got traded from my Atlanta Hawks, and I think that if he was in a better situation and position, I think we view him a little bit more malleable and just more
100%.
versatile and flexible. I think what we saw,
Yeah.
what he saw in Atlanta just makes him look a little bit worse than what he actually is.
Dude, 100%. DeJounte and Trae Young being together just nukes each other's stock. They were just at war with each other for ruining each other's reputation. Like, Trae Young is the most hated on player in the league right now, and that didn't start until DeJounte Murray walked through those fucking doors. And now DeJounte Murray is people are saying he's an overrated defender. He was never that great. That didn't happen until he walked through Trae Young's doors. Like, they are so bad for each other. And now that they're being separated again, I try to give him a little bit of credit for that too.
Just a toxic relationship. And now
Facts.
you know, they're going to break up. They're going to get healthy. They're going to therapy. Everything's going to be good. I like this.
Everybody wins.
I like this more. Exactly.
Okay, what else should we talk about in this tier? I think we talked about everybody here. Anything else stand
we're
out to you
good.
guys?
I just
No,
can't
okay.
believe
Nah,
that
I think we're good.
And I am sad that I didn't put
Don't disrespect Mike Conley, man. Stop
Hey, when
disrespecting.
did Donovan
man.
become the Mike Conley guy? When did you become the Mike Conley munch?
I mean, he's textbook, so I see the correlation between him and Donovan.
Is Donovan textbook?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
He likes
What
textbook
does that
fundamental players that don't do too much.
Donovan loves fundamentals.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess
Listen, they don't know about the drop step. We talked about this.
They don't understand. They don't understand. Mike Conley gets it, and that's why he gets my respect.
Can't hate on it.
Exactly.
Next tier. 11 through 15, we're getting to the top half of this list. If you're still here halfway through,
Man.
comment. They don't know about the drop step. And Mike Conley gets it. Comment that if you're still here halfway through. So,
Ooh, man.
at 11, I have De'Aaron Fox. At 12, James Harden. 13, Jamal Murray. 14, LaMelo Ball. I almost said Lonzo Ball, RIP. And 15, Derek White. What are we thinking?
Ooh. Okay, so LaMelo Ball is that low for obvious reasons. No one needs to say anything. Super inconsistent with his health. We did see him make a leap, and he was looking like a superstar because he was really getting to that rim and using his 6'7" body. But he only played like 20-some games or whatever.
22 games, bro.
Yeah, that's sick. Can't really say too much.
Dude, he played
about that.
22 games, man. But yeah, he was definitely looking a lot better this year. In the year prior, in which he only played 36 games, which is disgusting for back-to-back years, he only got to the rim on 23% of his shots. That's not good. That is very poor. Same type of thing as early career Lonzo Ball. These guys cannot get to the rim. But this year in those 22 games, 32% of his shots at the rim. His efficiency didn't really change there. He's still not great, but he was getting there a whole lot, and that's half the battle. He needed to get the higher volume on top of already being a really good shooter, obviously. I think LaMelo Ball is like the most frustrating player development story in the league right now. Him or Zion, obviously. He could be one of the best guards in the entire NBA. The way that he could be 6'7", can get to the rim, be an elite shooter and an elite passer. Very few players occupy all those traits. It's like him, Luka, James Harden, I guess, a little bit shorter. Tyrese, like it's a tiny list of the best creators that have the full package as a scorer and a passer with the size. He should be there, but he has had no time to develop his skills because he's played 58 games in 2 years. That is so frustrating. That's going to do so much harm for his long-term development to lose these early reps that he could be gaining at this young age. It makes me want to rip my fucking hair out that we're just losing what could be like an all-time talent, and his ankles just won't allow it to happen.
That Big Baller Brand program is not legit. It is not legit. That's the one thing LeVar messed up on. It was the ankles. It's tough.
Damn Del Taco.
They love Del Taco.
How do you guys? This was another hard one for me. Was Fox, Harden, Murray. Harden's very hard to rank right now. So there's so much negative biases in your head about James Harden and how he's like taking a step back. But I feel like he bought into that role for sure this year and was like fully deferent to the 2-star scorers he played next to, and really bought in as like a passer who could have the score and pick his own spots. He was crazy efficient because he wasn't shooting nearly as often, and his passing was excellent. And I feel like defensively, listen, he's James fucking Harden. He's never going to be great, but I don't think he slacked off like that under Tyler Lue. I thought he was completely fine. He was competent. I think in this role, and especially when you consider the fact that Paul George is gone, he's going to get back to being a higher usage scorer. I think we're in for a really big James Harden year.
I agree. It is so hard to, first and foremost, I want to say De'Aaron Fox should be 11. I think that's a perfect spot for him. But it's so hard to compare and contrast James Harden and Jamal Murray's game because they're both like utterly different and quite literally
opposite players.
I don't want to say the inverse of each other, but like, yeah, James Harden gets shit started and Jamal Murray finishes it. He doesn't get shit started for real.
Exactly.
So
okay.
I
De'Aaron Fox is hard to rank
generally
too.
don't. Yet you said Derek White was?
No, De'Aaron Fox. He had a bad year for his standards, man.
You're right. He did. Compared to last year, he absolutely did. 2
years ago, dude, every year his amount of shots taken at the rim is going down. I don't know if he's losing his athleticism at the ripe age of 25, but if we go back, dude, in 2020, 42% of his shots came at the rim. Absurd number, just a rim demon. Next year, 33%. The next year in his All-Star year, 29%. It's going down every year because he's becoming a better shooter, so that's fine. Next year, which is 2023, year before this one, 24%. Then this year, 19% of his shots coming at the rim. That is really bad. And then obviously last year, remember when he made the All-Star game and we were talking about him as like, oh shit, is he like a top 8 point guard? He shot 77% at the rim. That's better than Luka. That's better than LeBron. That's Giannis territory. 77% is ridiculous. It was the highest of any guard by far. This year, he got to 67%. Like, in terms of volume and efficiency, he did not create at the rim like he did before. 3-point shot was better, 37%. The mid-range shot fell off. And, that was a bit inconsistent when he hit all those ridiculous clutch shots last year to win Clutch Player of the Year. That wasn't quite the same level. Just a weird down year from him.
It's so weird because he was down on a lot of aspects that make him great. And that's what, like, is his bread and butter. That's what he's known for. That's his niche. Get to the rim, put people in the fucking blender, put him in the basket. But... yeah. Seeing him improve from the 3-point line, oddly enough, I think he shot like 7 or 8 per game, like you said, on 37% from the 3-point line. That is a real leap that he made on that end of the floor when it comes to his off the bounce dribble and shit like that. But it's seeing that rise up while what he's really good at take a steep decline kind of nets him out at like the normal De'Aaron Fox range where we all think he usually is at. And
the 3-point shot is cool, but it's his superpower. Yeah. Like, even with that 3-point advancement, he's like a good shooter, but he's not like one of the best or anything. He is one of the best rim scorers when he's looking how he did a year and a half ago. So like that is what carries him to being in the top 10 ranges. Like, I'm giving him benefit for the doubt that maybe that'll improve next year by keeping him at 11. And really the biggest thing is 12, 13, 14, all kind of regressed this year in terms of perception. Jamal Murray didn't have his insane playoff performance like he did in the title year. James Harden's old as fuck. LaMelo can't stay healthy. De'Aaron was worse this year, but nobody behind him really took a leap to pass him up, so I didn't drop him too far. But I'm not super encouraged by that, because if he's not going to be the best rim scoring point guard outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, hard for me to view him as like a top end talent.
Interesting. Okay. Who's next?
Otherwise, he's kind of just like De'Aaron Fox. He's basically DeJounte Murray if he's not going to have that. It's kind of the similar player.
That's what I'm saying. Like every player in the NBA needs to have something that they are outstanding at. That is how you claim who you are, whether it be Giannis and his impactful scoring in the paint, Jokic and his passing, LeBron and the myriad things that he's just like insane at, Steph with his shooting. Like everyone has their thing that they're like, nah, I'm one of the best in the league when it comes to that. And for De'Aaron Fox, like no one's gonna call him one of the best shooters. It doesn't matter. Like he gets you 40% of the three on like 8 attempts per game. No one's still gonna call him the best shooter in the NBA ever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to his rim scoring, different conversation.
For sure. And listen, maybe there's some other factors. Maybe he's dealing with injuries. I don't remember. Maybe he's not cooked athletically.
He did deal with injuries. That. You are correct about that.
Yeah.
I think he dealt with a shoulder injury.
It's not all doom and gloom. He could come back and return to form next year, but noticing.
Exactly. Sadly, I was noticing that he wasn't even the best player on his team for the entirety of the year.
And that says something because that other guy is not that great.
So next up, I have, of course, De'Aaron Fox at number 11, Jamal Murray at 12. At 13, I have LaMelo Ball. 14, James Harden. And 15, Darius Garland. So I think you guys had Darius Garland on the last tier, and I put him above here because I know who Darius Garland is to his core, and I know his superpowers and all the things
one spot ahead of us.
Yeah. But other than that, I think it looks like me and you, Isaac, have the same tier of players, just jumbled up a little bit.
Yeah. No, I think we view Darius Garland in the same way as you do. We just put Derek White higher because we really value him being like the best role player in the league, and you didn't. Mm-hmm. So that's the only difference there is that we put Derek White up higher. Otherwise, we view Darius Garland exactly the same, I think. So I'm glad to see it. Darius Garland is getting way too much hate. He needs to be respected.
I agree. Listen, the respect, it's going to happen, right? When he gets healthy again, he's going to be fine. It's on the way. But right now, listen, sometimes you got to go through stuff. So he'll be all right.
People treat him like he's Pablo Brigioni. It's not all right.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, I don't hate most lists.
Okay, nice. This is pretty much in line with mine. Let's look at the next one, then we can discuss them all.
Yeah. All right, so I have Drew Holiday at 15. I have Kyrie at 14. Derek White at 13. Jamal Murray at 12. And James Harden at 11. And this would not be a TD3 list if one of us didn't leave somebody off the list. And LaMelo Ball accidentally did not make my list.
I thought you did it on purpose. It was accidental.
No, I completely forgot about Listen, LaMelo has not played in the last 2 years. I forget what it looks like watching him play basketball. I think now he wouldn't be on this tier. I think I would have LaMelo at like 16 though.
Okay.
Just because
I thought that he was so injured that you were doing it as a bit that you were like, listen, he's not available ever, so he's not on my list ever.
No. But yeah, he would be in like that Garland. And like that Garland range at 15, 16, just because I truly don't know if like going forward, if you have this young player that you are trying to build around, if he's going to be available. And like, so he could be a Steph Curry. Your ankles can eventually get better and you can be healthy. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But as for 11 through 15, like Drew Holiday, role player, demon, right? Kyrie at 14, Derek White. Again,
that's the issue player. Right there. Why
Let's
stop beating around the bush here.
What?
Oh my goodness. Why is Kyrie Irving at number 14 ahead of Derek White? You think Derek White has
You think James Harden is currently better than Kyrie Irving?
Crack, cocaine, promethazine.
Jamal Murray's better than Kyrie Irving? They're the same type of player. You'd rather have Jamal Murray than Kyrie?
Yes, I would.
What? Yes, you're lying. Oh my God. Why?
I'm being 100% real. I'm being 100% real. I think that, listen, now for Jamal, if you want to move him down to 13, right, where you guys had him, that's fine. I think that Jamal is the premier case of why you have to be like very cautious about the playoff risers, because if you go a year where they don't rise in the playoffs, then it gets to be kind of crazy. But I do think that Jamal Murray, he was dealing with an injury throughout the playoffs. He had the cap stuff, but even still, he had the ability to shoot 4 for 15 throughout the first 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden 5 minutes left on the clock, and now Jamal Murray's like, okay, yeah, I'll just hit three out of 4 shots, and I'm gonna hit 2 game winners in the series, and I'm gonna do all this, and it's gonna be fine. I think that Kyrie, we're seeing the best version of him, and throughout the playoffs, we saw him lock in and play defense. Kyrie also was very inconsistent, and the finals, the finals for Kyrie, the road games, awful. If you want to just put that off on, hey, he's going back to Boston, it's a tough place to play, he has all that history, he was just in his head. Okay, fine. How do you explain the 2 series before that where he's scoring 9 points in games? He's not being, the most talented backcourt of all time. We were saying that, and you were one of the people who was pushing back on it because Kyrie's not. He's not he's not scoring 25 every night the same way that some of the other guys are. And I think that now that he's playing next to Luka, who is one of the best players in the league, now he's back in his second tier era. And that's fine. But I'd much rather have Derek White on my team than Kyrie Irving. I'd rather have Jamal Murray. I'd rather have James Harden. James Harden, again, I already know nobody's going to slander him more than me. But for what Isaac said, for what Isaac said, the fact that he was able to go to LA and buy into everything that they were doing, we've seen him over the last 3 years completely say, hey, I'm not the James Harden of old. I'm not going to be able to go out and get you 30, but I can still come in and facilitate the offense, and I will willingly take a step back. And I think that there is something to be said for that. And that's why I have James Harden still as a very impactful player. I think that the Clippers are just cursed, and they have Paul George and Kawhi who also aren't healthy. And that's also a big reason why they couldn't make it out the first round. But there's James Harden he's still really, really good.
Okay. So if you're starting a team today, you're a GM, you have a number 1 overall pick, all right, and it comes to your time, you're an expansion team or whatever, you're taking Derek White over Kyrie Irving right now.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I am.
With a straight...
I am.
With a straight face.
I am.
Wow.
Listen, okay, I get it. If you're going to go on a stance that Kyrie Irving's going to be inconsistent, so you don't want him, you're probably going to age into being right, given the track record. So I understand you. It's not the worst hill to pick. History has shown if LeBron's not on the team, you're going to age into being right. So I get it. But again, we know Kyrie Irving can't be the best player on a championship team. None of these guys in this role can, right? Mm-hmm. And I also think it's been proven that if he's a second option and everything clicks, he doesn't tweet out any links to controversial subject matter. He doesn't get himself banned from Barclays Arena for controversial decisions. If nothing like that goes down, he's going to be the best second option you can want in a score next to a star player, right? In 2021, if all that shit didn't happen, they probably would have walked to the finals. Last year, they were in the finals. Like, that means something. And obviously, they lost to Derek White, so maybe pulling out a resume, it's not the best thing to say. But, he played really well last year, and I know he was inconsistent in the playoffs. That inconsistency is why he's 14 and not 14. That's why he's like in the late 10s and not like up higher, right? Because if he was consistently the best version of Kyrie Irving, then he would be a top 5 point guard in the league. We just know he's not. So that's kind of baked into it, and that's why he has to be the second option. Usually players have to be second options because they can't be consistent against top end coverages. That's like the biggest difference. So I still think that nets him out in like 9 or 10 range. It feels disrespectful to his ceiling to put him at 14 when we know that the good comes with the bad.
For Derek White, though, like you talk about putting Kyrie next to another point guard, like the level to which Derek White can complement another guard like a Kyrie Irving, like a lot of the top guards, it's very hard for them to be number 1 on offense, number 1 on defense, guarding the other point guards. If you have Luka or Steph or Jalen Brunson or Ja or Trey or any of these guys who are higher up on this list, they are not defensive stoppers. And if you say, hey, we're going to have that guy who can create all the offense, and then as our number 2, we're going to put Derek White who can cover their man and still give you 16 to 17 and still make still have a pretty solid playmaking, that backcourt would be more valuable, and that backcourt would be better suited to make a deeper run. It's great. Listen, if you can get Luka, who is 6'7", and Kyrie, that's crazy. But a lot of the other point guards are not. And so if you have Kyrie and another one of the other point guards, you have a better version of, of D Mitch and Darius Garland or Dame and CJ, and you have a very high offensive ceiling. Everybody else has to be a defensive stopper. You put so much defensive pressure on everybody else on your team that I think that Derek White being in that backcourt helps you build a more well-rounded team.
I respect Derek White because if the hill you're dying on is that you want the guy that's a two-way player and that is just like doesn't need the ball in his hands, I respect that. Same logic we had for like Drew Holiday being high and stuff like that. Don't have a problem with that. That's fine. That's just a difference in what you want from a role player. Or
you just rather Jamal Murray be the one that he's above instead of Kyrie.
Yeah, like I don't see the logic with Jamal Murray there. Then Derek White. I disagree on Derek White, but I get that perspective of player being more valuable to you. I feel like Jamal Murray and Kyrie are in the same exact type of player. And like you said, the playoff riser thing is dangerous. I'm coming to realize the playoff riser thing is hard because I am realizing that sample size is super important. That we had a 15-game stretch where Jamal Murray went nuts. Next year that didn't happen. He was cold, worse than his regular season averages. Hard to give someone too much credit for small sample sizes, and we do that too often in playoff risers. I think.
I kind of like, and that's why I think for me, like, because I think even after last year, like I was a little bit hesitant, but I wanted to put Jamal Murray higher, and so coming into this ranking, I feel like putting him at 12 was dropping him a little bit for me because of like the playoff stuff. But even whenever he wasn't having a good game, he was still able to do the Jamal Murray playoff stuff where he can still close. And that to me was good. Whereas with Kyrie, if it was bad and if the shot's off, like the shot's off for the entire game, where Jamal Murray still has a little bit of hope where he could do the playoff stuff. So that's kind of why I had him at 12. If we want to put Derek White at 11, right, above Jamari, I'm fine with that. I'm completely okay.
Oh my gosh.
If I thought about it for like 2 more hours, I might get Derek White into 11.
Wow. That was the complete
it's really
opposite
easy.
of what we're trying to do.
Derek White thing is hard because listen, people were trying to put him in All-Star conference last year, and I get
He's not there. He's not there.
At his role. He's the best at his role, but it's really easy to gas a player in that role when they just have so much less pressure on them. And again, I tried to realize that supplementary players matter and there's value there, but there is something to our expectations of a player in a Derek White role versus a player in a higher role. Derek White had some stinker games in the finals where he was not hitting shots. Nobody gave a fuck because he's the third, fourth option, and he has no pressure on him to perform. All we're doing is busy slandering Jason Tatum, slandering Kyrie Irving, who carries that bigger load. Like, we got to keep in mind that Derek White's job is a lot easier, and it's very easy to gloss over when he doesn't play well.
Well, look, even the guys.
Derek White goes ahead and he gets a block, always standing up, clapping, or he goes ahead and hits a clutch bucket after not scoring for like the last 15 minutes of the game. We're like, there we go.
He's a timely player. He's a timely player. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
And also, there's guys even in the top 10 that I look at and I recognize that right now you're not a number one on a championship team. So I think for anywhere from like 13 to 8, maybe even pushing 7, it's okay if you aren't the number one. And so now we start talking about how are you as a complementary player. And some of them, they're 1B, 2A, whatever you want to call it, and they are like a level above. But listen, Derek White he's just good, man. He's just good.
Very good. Yeah, listen, it's hard to. There's always bias to the most recent champion too. It's always hard not to put the guys on top up high. So there's definitely a lot of reasons to put Derek White high right now. Just like there was last year to put Jamal Murray like top 10 or whatever. Like it's hard not to ride that high when you just saw a guy win at the highest level.
Facts.
I see it and I completely understand. But then again, like this is the same guy who just averaged like 13 points and he shot like 38% from the field. Like I see what he's doing.
Still
it's so valuable.
and was still a better defender than every point guard on this list.
No, fair. That's fair. The defense
not named Drew Holiday.
Yeah, the defense gets him value when the shot doesn't fall. That somebody like Harden or Kyrie or Jamal Murray just don't have that crutch.
I absolutely agree, but Harden and Kyrie don't have the crutch of having Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, and KP and all them boys. So it's like I see the value that he's producing, but I also see the value around him as well that makes his value look even like crazier than how Donovan's perspective seeing him right
do
now.
Your job. Do your job. I think like that's also another big thing where like yes and I mean we see it with everybody. It really is a sliding scale for how we grade every player, but starring in your role and thriving in your role, if I know that Luka is this, generational, otherworldly talent, yes, I'm going to ask you to do some things that I'm not going to ask of De'Aaron Fox. And you're just going to have to do it because that's who you are. Like you just have to do your job. And I think that being able to go from situation to situation and still having the ability to do your job, that's also very impactful, and it can help a lot of the other 30 teams. And if you put Derek White, if you take him off of Boston and you put him in anywhere else, if you dropped him in Detroit would be a better team if they had Derek White. Obviously, I'm not saying that he's going to come in and make them a 45-win team, but they would be better. And you might you might see, and if he was playing with Cade Cunningham, you might see Cade Cunningham being in the top 15 rather than in the 18 because we know that he might be better. Like he elevates a lot of other floors.
You could say the same exact thing about Kyrie Irving. Put him alongside Cade, and wow, he gets better.
I don't know.
I think I know that. I think I know for a fact he'd make the Pistons a lot better. I'm saying that
they would lose more games. I don't know.
They would lose more games.
Listen, he's no Jaden Ivey.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
He is not Jaden Ivey. That is true.
Mo, tell us your
All
6
right.
through 10.
Rolling into 6 through 10. All right. So number 6, I got Trae Young. 7, Tyrese Maxey. 8, Damian Lillard. 9, Tyrese Halliburton. And 10, Kyrie Irving.
Okay. Most of this range wasn't too hard for me, except for Damian Lillard. Ranking Damian is tough right now. And you put him above Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
That surprises me. I was trying to give Dame credit for some of the reasons we said about guys like Darius Garland and whatnot, that trying to overreact to one-off year. But also he's 34, so maybe it's... How do we gauge? Is this off year of Dame because he's getting old or because he was sad and out of shape living in Milwaukee?
Doc Rivers said he
Which
was on
one is it?
Teletubby timing, and I lean towards more of that one. Because when I saw him in the playoffs, giving folks like 35 in the first half, back-to-back games, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
this dude
And
is
then what did
still
he score for the rest of the game?
We're not talking about that right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so how do you start with 35 and then you scored 35 in the first quarter? You end the game with 35 points. Like, come on.
That is nuts. But yeah, I'm inclined to give Dame at least one more year. He'll get used to playing with Giannis a little bit more. They'll have a full year of offseason under Doc Rivers. He'll be in better shape. I believe he'll look better next year. But I also won't be surprised if he's just getting old and he's small and he loses a step and it gets tough. I can't put him above Tyrese Halliburton.
Really?
I can't either.
Okay. The only reason why I put him above Tyrese Halliburton is because, okay, if you have real questions about Damian Lillard's health and old age getting up there, fair. That's fine. But I think it's fair to go ahead and also assume, because of the glimpses that we've seen through him, whether it be whenever Giannis was out of the court and not playing, looks like a completely different player. That's what I buy into Damian Lillard. And as for Tyrese Halliburton, where I dock him at, I think he has real issues when it comes to getting to the rim and also having more unpredictability to his scoring. Like the step back three is nice, uber valuable. And he, because of that in his passing, like he's already one of the best offensive guards in the entire NBA. But what are you going to do when the defense takes that back from you? What are you going to do when you have to get a little bit more creative and use that like big body frame? He has
100%.
all the gifts and talents of the world. He just hasn't reached that level just yet.
In November, we were saying Tyrese Halliburton has cracked into the top 5. I don't think that anymore because obviously we know he got hurt and slowed down, never reached those heights. And I agree with everything you just said. The lack of variability of scoring punch shows, and that's why I reconsidered that and I put him lower like you did. I have him around the same range. That has to change. But also, he's closer to 6 than he is to 10 to me. Because I think it's hard to understate how valuable his playmaking is. They were in the conference finals for a reason. They were the most high-powered offense all year that could not be stopped. And a part of that is the system, the way the talent all around works together well. Major part of that is Tyrese Halliburton's ability to lead the team as a playmaker and keep the ball moving and really put people in positions. He's a really gifted passer that that is like taken for granted a little bit. That we kind of just like treat him like his assists are like system assists, when I don't really think that's the case.
I agree. I think that he's in. I actually forgot where. I know I put him above 9. So I forget where I had him, but I do think that I had him closer to 6 than 10.
Well, let's see. Next up, Donovan. Here's your list.
I have Dame at 10, De'Aaron Fox at 9, Maxey at 8, Halliburton at 7, Trae Young at 6.
I'll just show mine too. I have Trae Young at 6, Halliburton at 7, Maxey at 8, Dame at 9, and Kyrie at 10. Now listen, me and Donovan are the same in the top 3.
We are.
Me and you both have Kyrie at 10 because we don't hate him. And yeah, we have Lillard at 8, 9, and 10. We all split it there. Yeah, it's tough. Like Maxey versus Lillard was a tough spot for me. I feel fine putting Tyrese one spot above Maxey. At first, I had Lillard above Maxey by one spot, but I flipped the last second, and I can't really tell you why. I don't know. I guess I'm just scared that maybe Dame's getting old.
That's why I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think
there's nothing that you can go ahead and go against that because age is age. It catches up to everyone. Dame Lillard's still elite. And also, if you're just going based off of what Tyrese Maxey did and how he made serious leaps to like solidify himself as a real star player, can be a go-to guard on offense, won't bog you down, has the creativity, and has been building into his in-between game to really add that versatility to his offense, I'd be fine with that.
My only problem is whenever Joel Embiid got hurt and Maxey had to be the one option, he was substantially worse. And to be expected, he's not at that point of his development yet where he can be the lead creator. But also, I don't know if I should hold that against him or just notice the fact that the Sixers roster outside of Joel Embiid was fucking horrible and that team was awful without him. Like, maybe it's not his fault that he couldn't cook with Kelly Oubre and Tobias Harris next to him. Like that's a tough team environment to succeed in.
This man had Nick Batum and Paul Reed and was like, all right, guys, it's us 3 tonight. Like, that's tough. That's tough for Tyrese. But yeah, I think on Dame, and I think I'm kind of out on Dame. As far out as you can be, still having him in your top 10, just because we've seen over the last couple of years. Last year wasn't the first time that we've seen Dame have physical stuff like kind of ail him. 2 years ago, he had a very injury riddled season. Whether it was the year that he was coming back or that the whole league was coming back from the bubble, the weird like 21 season, that year was cut short because of injuries. He went in and played in the Olympics. That also, like, he wasn't the same because of injuries. He dealt with that in 22. And whether he's old, whether he's hurt, or whether his style of play just doesn't fit with another star that way, like, that's also kind of crazy that you think of Dame as like diet Steph and this other, very rangy shooter who can play off a very talented big, and this 1-2 game is going to be the most dominant in the league. And neither of them could figure it out. And I blame that on Dame, and I also blame it on Giannis as well. But it's a little weird. I'm looking at the situation, and as we, get further into the offseason, I'm probably going to say it a lot, but I'm not very high on Milwaukee going into next season because I don't know if Dame and Giannis are going to be able to figure it out. And I don't know if Dame is going to be able to rise to that occasion the same way that we've seen him do, in years past. So it might be done for Dame.
Yeah, it's tough. Dame's amazing, and like in the right situation, prime Dame can like get you to a finals, but he's not a traditional player that you look at and be like, the way we talk about it, you gotta have a top 5 player in the world to win a championship, that typical talking point. He's not quite at that level. So if he can't fit next to one of those top 5 guys, that's hard for his value. Because Kyrie Irving, for all his flaws, has shown that he's malleable. He can play next to Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, James Harden, even Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown at one point, which less successful there. But, he can play with other guys that need the ball in their hands and can succeed at doing the things he does to an even better level. That doesn't really destroy his value. If it does prove that destroys Dame's value, like let's say they do another year of this and doesn't fit next to Giannis, but then they trade him and he does well again by himself, then that just means he's not portable and can't fit next to star players. And if you don't have that scalability in your game, then it'll hold your value back.
Exactly.
You know what Dame Lillard has in his game, though? He has a rap video
vibes?
on YouTube that he posted 8 years ago that has 3.5 million views, titled "Bigger Than Us." All right, he has features on features on features. He has bars.
Dame Dollar, man.
He has Spotify plays, thousands of monthly listeners. Does Tyrese Maxey have that? No, not really.
How many
Tyrese
of
Maxey
those
is
streams
Tyrese
are
Maxey.
how many of those streams are real and how many of them are bought? Like he's been getting paid max contract money for years. I know that he has access to the streaming farms. I know that all those
Dropping
1,000
dimes,
Ew.
dropping dimes. You don't remember that? That was a
I do
classic.
remember that.
No, nobody remembers that. That's the problem. That's awful.
Did y'all know that Hulu has live sports?
Oh man,
Decent.
he was swimming. I hated that, and I ain't gonna lie, he got me to get Hulu after that too.
You're susceptible to
They got
marketing. I love that we all have Trae Young at 6. He's so hated on because him and DeJounte Murray don't fit, and it's tanked their reputation around the league. The team is incompetent around him. They have not done a good job building a supporting cast. He's never had an all-star. Everything has gone wrong there, and it's been attributed to Trae Young as if it's his fault, like he's this on-court cancer, and it's fucking dumb. He's so taken for granted. It's not so... People say like it's easy to score in this era and easy to be more proficient offensively because of spacing and whatnot. So it's like people will just assume that anybody can go out there and average 30 and 10 for their career like he does. That's just not easy. Like, he is one of the best offensive talents we've seen in the league in the last decade, and we just forget about it because we don't like him.
Shout out
In the
Trey. He's
similar-
free now.
Oh yeah, he's free from DeJounte Murray for sure. In a
He's free.
similar light where like we've seen James Harden just glitch out the game and just figure things out with no angles like that specifically, Trae Young's done this a very similar thing. Obviously not to those levels because James Harden's quite
gonna say,
literally
calm down,
all
calm
time
down.
one of the greatest of all time. And Trae Young's just 6'1" and he's like 170 soaking wet or whatever. But with that being said, the combination of deep range shooting, the fantastic passing, being one of the 5-7 best passers in the entire NBA, while also making real visual improvements defensively, lands him at number 6 very comfortably for me. I'm happy y'all had him above Tyrese Halliburton because Trae Young is the amount of buckets that he gets forcefully at such a tiny frame is so impressive to me.
Yeah, listen, we were big, everybody was bigging up Tyrese Halliburton early in the season because he was averaging 27 points per game on ridiculous efficiency with his passing. And that was so impressive because he was doing what Trae Young already does, but he's also 6'6". So it was like a little bit less potential negatives there. Now, we've all come to accept that he's also a cone, so that doesn't give him the advantage there that we once thought maybe. But Trae Young's already doing that, and he doesn't have to deal with the fall off that Tyrese Halliburton had in the second half of the year. So if we're going to appreciate Tyrese Halliburton when he was at that peak, we have to realize that Trae Young's already there. So there's no reason to put him above him.
Absolutely.
100%.
The hate for Trae Young is outrageous. I remember the like GMs around the league or whatever like listed the most overrated player in the entire NBA, and it's Trae consistently finds himself up there in that range. Last year he was number 1, I believe.
It's so crazy to me. Like it's so
I think players just find
these
him
type of
annoying.
narratives, probably that too, but these type of narratives shift so easily. Like one good year, let's say Reece Shea comes in and he looks like a star. He has like a Jason Tatum rookie year where he's immediately valuable and provides value as a role player. And then they're suddenly like a 46-win team and they turn it around without DeJounte. The Trae Young conversations will immediately disappear. We're immediately going to be like, oh yeah, he's actually amazing. Like the narratives like that are so lazy.
I 110% agree. Can't wait to see that happen next year.
Dude, after 2021 when they made the conference finals, he was consistently being ranked as like the 3rd best point guard in the league that year.
I remember my first time ever talking to Donovan. I hopped on RIP 2-man game, and I was like, yeah, I'd rather have Trae Young on my team than Kevin Durant. Why? Because he's a fucking offensive engine. It was fresh off of that. And Donovan was like, bro, fuck this guy. That's hilarious.
One of our first shorts is you saying Trae Young's a better offensive player than Kevin Durant. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Legendary.
All right, man, let's move on to the top 5. We're here for the top. This actually might be the fastest one because I don't think we have much disagreement.
Yeah.
Here's all of them at once. I have Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson,
This
John
man's a
Morant.
hater. This man's a hater. How dare you put
Okay.
Brunson at 5?
Oh, Mo?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mo has Luka, Curry, Shea, Ja, and Brunson, and then Donovan has Luka, Shea, Curry, Brunson, Ja. So very small differences here.
Yeah. So obviously,
Actually, me and Donovan are the same. I just realized that.
Yeah, you and Donovan quite literally the same.
Lockstep.
Where we differentiate is me and my belief in Curry and not looking at the all-time shitter that they've put around him and how they fumbled and whittled away the last few years of his prime. Meanwhile, in OKC, views are up right now, and it's a completely different story.
Yeah.
And as for Ja Morant, it's so easy to go ahead and put Brunson ahead of him, considering what Brunson did, having one of the greatest playoff runs of all time at that size. Fantastic, truly remarkable. Donovan, get your hand off of your face, bro. You look weird. You look weird, bro.
You look weird.
But I can understand putting Brunson.
Get that yam off your face.
I'm with you. I actually think Ja Morant. I think this time next year I'll end up ranking Ja Morant higher again. I just had to give Brunson credit, man. After what he just did, like Donovan said the last pod, at least for the summer, Jalen Brunson's a top 4 point guard in the league. Coming off what he just did, he's earned it. Will he be able to hold on to that above Ja, who's probably going to come back and be a top 2 seed next year with the Grizzlies being healthy? I don't think so. I think Ja's probably going to prove to be better long term. But you got to give Jalen Brunson credit for the way he's elevated. The way he's gone from, 6-man to good starter to high-level starter with the Knicks to all-star to holy fuck, this guy's all-NBA level, 5th on the MVP ballot. The way he just keeps leveling up and finding ways to improve his game. And also all the negatives we had once said about him, where we were saying he's too small, they can throw doubles at him in a playoff setting, they're going to eliminate his scoring because he's not a good passer, all this yada yada.
Wrong.
The way he's proved all of that wrong. They threw all the coverages in the book at him in the playoffs, and that shit did not matter. He found a way to reject the double teams and get away from it and get to his game regardless. The scoring never once dipped. He played 48 minutes a game, averaged 40 points a game. It was ridiculous. Like, it was truly high-level stuff that you only see from the best players in the world. And I don't know if he can do that ever again, because that was like a generational run. Maybe he'll never reach that height again. It's very hard to do that. All I can do is fucking clap my hands and say you get the credit for this year.
For hopefully, all that, what you're saying, I love it.
Hopefully, he never has to do that again. Like, Brunson was put in that position because everybody was hurt. Now you're coming back. OG's going to be healthy. You have Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle's going to be back. Hopefully, you are not looking at Jalen Brunson saying, "I need you to take 37 shots a night to get us to win." But again, the floor that Jalen Brunson was able to keep the Knicks at, and even whenever they were playing games with Precious Achiuwa, and like you had just these terrible lineups, even in like February when everybody was hurt, to keep them afloat and to keep the Knicks fighting towards the 2nd seed in the East is also crazy. So I think, of course, top 4. I want to put Steph at 2. I really, really did. But for the same reason, like, I dropped Cade Cunningham down to 18 because it's not my fault that his situation sucks, and it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I'm not like, again, I didn't. If it was my choice, I would give Steph the best team, right? I would give him a great team. But right, I love Steph. But there's also just a little bit of decline from him, and Shai is just so consistent. He's able to score at the rim at will. He's able to get to his spots in the mid-range at will. He's legitimately impactful on both ends of the floor. Like, Shai has risen to a level of two-way dominance. That's probably, I don't know, that's a weird word, but like two-way. No, you're right. Just great two-way play that the rest of the other 3 guys, they're amazing. They're not two-way the way that Shai is, and then Luka's Luka, so we can put him at 1.
Shai was the best perimeter player in the playoffs last year, I think. And I don't feel that bad saying it. Obviously, Brunson did what Brunson did. A volume thing, right? Shai didn't have to shoot that much volume, and shout out Brunson being able to carry that type of load. It's crazy. I'm not necessarily going to say he's did better because of that. Shai was incredibly efficient. Didn't drop at all. People had some questions because I know everyone was kind of hating on them last year of like, listen, we've never seen Shai do this in the playoffs as a star. Can he do it? Is he going to get the free throw calls? Yada, yada. He looked exactly the same as he did in the regular season. Got his efficient 30 points per game, defended well. Luka wasn't healthy, so his efficiency wasn't there for a lot of the run. Not his fault. Shai played better than Jason Tatum. I'll tell you that. Luka wasn't healthy, like I said.
Sir.
He played better than Brunson, I think. Like, I'm moving Shea above Curry rather than I am moving Curry down. I think Shea has just earned it. Yeah. 2 years of All NBA first team, second on the MVP ballot, legitimately very good defender, playoff proof scorer that we thought in theory would work. It showed itself in practice. Curry in the end of last season had a very cold stretch, especially from three, that I think was in large part that he just had no help around him, and he really struggled athletically, I think, to continue to make something out of nothing and deal with these really tough on-ball coverages. I just feel like he lost a slight step, and that showed itself. I have a feeling that'll look better next year when the team looks a little bit better, hopefully, and maybe it's just small sample size. He just has a better year. I don't know how I could put Curry above Shea right now without it being biased.
Yeah.
I know how I can go ahead and do so. I see Curry and I see his insane superpower, which is obviously him shooting out of the gym every single night. And now something to revert back to like Shea, I 110% agree with you guys. I cannot have a case against him whatsoever. I can just talk up Curry in this instance right here. When I look at Shea, I think like, yo, is this dude just like the point guard version of Kawhi Leonard? Because that's what quite literally feels like. He's automatic from mid-range, strong as hell, super deceiving, and also you can't stop him when it comes to his finesse and how coordinated he is with his moves. But for someone like Steph Curry, I mean, I think it's easy for him to look like he's lost a step athletically when you have the Jonathan Kumingas of the world playing with you, Pods, Klay Thompson looking like the way he did last year. Clearly lost several steps. And just the offense really just, you have nothing really but just like a bunch of shitters around you, you know? Spacing wasn't great. Steve Kerr is fighting for his goddamn life, looking fine, clawing for some form of identity, benching Kevon Looney, starting Draymond Green, starting Chris Paul. Like there was no types of consistency whatsoever. But for Shea over there, life was great. You didn't know necessarily what you had in Chet in day one, but the first 5 games that he played, you had everything set in stone for you and all the players. Sam Presti, the entire organizations, the janitors, the towel boys, everybody watches your every single move and they cater to you. They know how hot he likes his showers. They know how much Gatorade he likes in his cup. They know where he likes his socks placed, bro. They know everything about Shea. But for Steph, bro, they can't even wipe up the floors right for him.
No, I could definitely see Curry proving us wrong and having 1 or 2 more years of like clearly being top 2 here. It's just tough, man. Like you said, the team put him in the worst position to succeed as an aging point guard. Like they're making his life hell. Like Brandon Podziemski, Klay Thompson, and Kuminga is not a complementary trio to what he needs to perform well. Like it's very tough on him. But I don't see it getting easier either. And I think it's going to continue to be hard. And he might just be past the age where he can do a 2021, 2022 Steph where he can just like succeed despite that. Remember that year they were terrible and he averaged like 31 points per game because he just got it out the mud regardless of how difficult it was? Yeah. That might just be past us.
That's tough. That's tough.
Absolutely.
But also, he hasn't taken that much of a step back. He's still amazing. So I'm not mad at putting him at 2 at all. I don't want to make it sound worse than it is. It's not like I'm way more concerned about Lillard's age than I am Curry's.
Facts. Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's Steph really just about Shea being that guy.
Mm-hmm. And I can't be mad at it because he's truly ascended and he deserves that crown. He's done absolutely nothing. OKC's shortcomings has nothing to do with him. It was more so about their roster construction and guys like J-Dub, second year natural, just not being 100% there yet and ready to be that good backline defense offensively or whatever. And Shea is just like, he's certified. Like you said, Isaac, a couple of years ago before we knew they were like that and they won like 40 games with Josh Giddey on that team. You said like this dude might be fucking bulletproof. He quite literally proved that theory. He's bulletproof.
Exactly.
In the
yeah.
playoffs.
And listen, I think they're going to be in the finals this coming year and might win it, barring good health. So pretty soon, I think Shea will have answered every question needed from him. First, it was can he be one option? Can he be a star? Then it was can he do it in the playoffs, the highest level against elite defenses? Then it's can he win a championship? Like he's going one by one, and I think next year is going to be the year that he really solidifies himself as like clearly a top 5 player, like without a doubt, by getting to that finals. Mm-hmm. This is Shea's time.
We're here.
Oh my God, bro. That's sick. So you're telling me that Shea has Alex Caruso as a defender, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. All right, went ahead and drafted Nikola Topic and all that other shit. And how does Mike Dunleavy Jr. respond? I got one Buddy Hield for you. Kyle Anderson. I got him for you, bro.
Tough scene.
What are we doing here?
We got
man?
the Splash
Free Curry.
stepbrother and Buddy Hield coming in the door. We'll see if we can fix him.
Not even
He
step.
won't.
That brother was adopted. He does not look like them. What are we talking about here?
And yeah, man, that's our rankings. Pretty good. I think the point guard rankings are typically the easiest one. And yeah, I like this. I think the coming weeks will be a lot more debating on these. This one was pretty chill. Don't expect that to last.
Yeah, not
Not
gonna
at
lie.
all.
This is the easiest one for sure because it's already set in stone and the tiers are more clear than ever when it comes to this. This is probably also, would you guys say this is the deepest position in the league?
I actually, when I was
Probably.
looking at this, I kind of feel like the depth isn't as good as it once was. Like I mentioned, that 11 through 15 range with James
Yeah.
Harden, LaMelo Ball, and who's the other name there? I said earlier.
Jamal?
Was it
Jamal Murray?
And Jamal Murray. With those guys not really being super impressive this year, kind of feel like this isn't that strong of a year for point guards.
It's still strong. It's still strong because I remember
And
like
Garland.
yeah, I remember last year the fact that like Darius Garland could be the 16th best point guard in the league is still like
Yeah.
nah. This
still
position
crazy.
is crazy.
You're right. It is still extremely deep, and compared to other positions, it's still probably the deepest one.
Yeah.
But there was a point a few years ago, like when Chris Paul was elite, Damian Lillard was unstoppable, James Harden unstoppable. Like we had an era of point guards that was like utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna lie to you. Kyle Lowry was over here putting up like 17,
Kyle
19,
Lowry?
flopping his big ass everywhere.
Man.
Mike Conley was really hooping, giving folks like 20, 19, 17 consistently back when he was in or first year Utah, but late years in the Memphis Grizzlies. John Wall was over here throwing gang signs, yelling at.
All right, now we're going. Now we're going far back.
Listen,
take me back.
The thing about the old days, they the old days. You know.
They sure are. And on that note,
That's hilarious, bro.
on to TikTok time.
Crown Eaters, let's do it.
Welcome to TikTok time. Once again today, we are starting with the draft, and we're doing a style of draft we haven't done in quite a while, actually. I kind of just forgot about it for a while. We're going to do a build-a-player draft.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. I like these.
Here we go,
Been
here we
like
go.
a couple months, it feels like.
And you know what our most viewed draft on TikTok is? It's the K names draft. That shit has like 3.7 million views. I don't know why, but the K names really popped off for us back in November 2023 for some reason. So we're going to do K
Damn.
names again, but with the
We're
build-a-player
running it
draft.
back. Okay.
Let's go
Let's
ahead
talk
and do
about
it.
it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Real simple. You guys know how it works by now. We got body, shooting, defense, playmaking, and finishing. Got to draft the best player possible. The draft order is Mo, Donovan, me.
Ooh, I got the first pick.
You do. So,
Interesting.
who are we picking? Let's start this draft off. Who are you picking as your first trait?
Okay, this is so interesting because I can go like so many ways.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so let's say for my body. Ah man, I could go so many ways. I guess there's no real wrong answer here. For my body, give me one of the most unique bodies in the NBA, Kevin Durant.
Oh, a way to remove Kevin Durant, all of his skills right away. Damn.
That's very weird. Very weird. But that
Yeah.
is okay. That's okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm putting a premium on shooting. So for my shooting, give me Klay Thompson.
Great
Okay.
pick. Listen, when you can get one of the best shooters of all time, you do it.
Exactly.
Me, on the other hand, I'm not putting a premium on shooting. I'm going to go with Kristaps Porzingis body and Kevin Garnett defense.
Ah, okay.
That right there was quite terrifying.
What if what if the best defender you've ever seen was also humongous? Then what?
That's awesome.
That's tough. I'm
That's
gonna have to
awesome.
shatter your knees. That's the only chance that I have.
You're gonna have to Nancy Kerrigan me.
Oh God.
Okay. Well, in that same light, what if you had somebody who could shoot like Klay Thompson, but was built like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Give me Kareem's body. I'll take that.
That's
Wow,
pretty
man.
deadly. That's just Kristaps Porzingis with a better shooting.
I'll take Kareem Body.
Man, talk about the names that we have here. We mentioned
You don't get the Skylar
No,
with that.
mentioning.
No, Kareem Body.
Oh, I typed in the wrong spot. Oops.
Gotcha. All these illustrious names. You got Kareem, got KG, KD, and I'm finna take Kyle Lowry for his playmaking. There we go.
I was gonna-
One of the
I was
best
gonna do that.
playmakers in here.
I wanted to take that because there's not a lot of passers here.
Exactly. I had to go ahead and snipe that off the board real quick. Okay.
Damn.
And then, I'm not going to touch shooting because I believe there's plenty of fine shooters here that I can go ahead and scoop up for the low anytime. Okay, so what's right under shooting? I can't see that very well.
Finishing.
Defense.
Oh,
Oh,
my bad.
okay. So defensive finishing. Okay, cool. So for defense, go ahead and give me Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, great pick. Okay, you're cooking early.
Go ahead and give me Kawhi Leonard. Took me a little bit to go ahead and get my brain churning, but that motherfucker was working. As long as it's there, I know what I'm doing.
Fuck.
The level of disgust that I have in my heart right now is astronomical. Because I was hoping you would sell and I would get Kawhi.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go here. Let's go here. Again, I asked you what would it look like if somebody who could shoot like Klay was in Kareem's body. What if you had somebody in Kareem's body that could finish like Kyrie Irving with the jelly package?
Yeah.
Give me Kyrie finishing.
Ooh, what a sleeper. Okay. I like it.
Man, if I saw somebody in Kareem's body doing all these fancy lifts instead of dunking that bitch, I'd be pissed. I'd be annoyed. Hey.
He's gonna do it just for fun.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna one up you a little bit. What if somebody in Kristaps' body was dunking like prime Kobe? Give me Kobe finishing.
Okay.
What if I could fly?
Okay. Damn. This messed up my plan. I don't know what to do now.
Not a lot of passing here. Give me TNT's finest, Kenny Smith, for my passing.
Okay.
All right.
There's not
Kenny
a lot of
Smith.
options.
He's a point guard. He fills that role.
There's not a lot of good point guards here in the K names. I'll say that.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious, bro. Okay, that's solid. Donovan, what you going to do now?
tough. I mean, I do need a playmaker. This guy isn't necessarily thought of as a playmaker, but he is a point guard. Give me Kemba Walker for playmaking. So it's not the best. It's not the best out of y'all's two, but I'm okay. There's not a lot of great options for playmaking here.
You could have picked Killian Hayes.
Exactly. He was on
Dang.
the board staring at you.
I
You didn't pick him?
I didn't think about Killian Hayes, man.
Someone always has
Dang.
Yeah, you could have picked one of the greatest Knicks of all time, Kevin Knox. Tripping, bro.
Dang, man. I keep I have to be better. I have to be better. That's on me.
That's funny.
It's on me.
All right. So for shooting, go ahead and give me one of the 5 best shooters of all time, Kyle Korver.
Fuck!
Absolute
You're stealing
ratchet.
all my picks.
Shot like 49, 50% from 3-point line one year. He is ridiculous.
You're building a demigod small forward. I'm building a demigod big. Well, this last pick might decide it.
Yeah. Okay. So now all I have left is finishing.
Y'all took my wing defenders, and I'm very upset because I was gonna have Kareem moving out here like Kawhi, and now I'm just gonna have to treat him like a traditional big, and I'm upset. I'm very upset.
So I don't have that many options when it comes to finishing. I'm kind of cooked at this front. I can pick between 2 bigs.
Kevin Knox.
And give me what the hell? That sounded like a threat. So go ahead and give me Kenyon Martin. Someone who's gonna put the ball through the rim every single
That's a good
opportunity
pick.
that he has.
Mo, I'm gonna whoop
He was
your
on my
ass.
list.
I'm a beat your ass, Mo. I really am. I really am. When I see you,
Sorry. I'll take it back.
I'm gonna slap the shot you. I'm so upset. I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
You're about to pick his defense?
They should have never let me get ChatGPT. Thank you, ChatGPT. Shout out to AI. I did not do this alone.
Did you ask ChatGPT for players that start with K?
I'm put it on God. I did. You think I'm lying? Put a camera right here.
Bro, Mo used to sell
Working
every
smarter,
draft,
not
and now
harder.
he's doing well because he found ChatGPT. That's crazy. That was a turnaround.
My savior. I just leaked my game plan and my strategy for the last 40 weeks, bruh. I'm back.
See, me, I don't have any PEDs. I sit down, I look at my notes app, and I just think, get the shit out the mud. I just think of all the players I can think of. I don't need
See,
any artificial
that right
enhancements.
there? You got classic American brain. You work smart. You're working harder, not smarter.
I'm not optimizing. Who's your defender?
My whole plan is thrown out the window, and I have no idea what to do at this point.
Kevin Knox.
Kendrick Perkins is right
Kevin
there.
Knox.
Perk.
Costis.
You suck. You suck so much. I've actually never been more upset at you than what I am right now.
Killian Hayes.
And I guess
standing 6'4" from France. Killian Hayes. I don't have any other options. Okay, let me check one thing. And I promise you I'm gonna make this quick and I'm gonna try it.
Kyle Kuzma's right there, bro. Just go ahead and pick him already.
Shut up.
Hey, you missed out on Kenyon Martin. Just get Kenyon Martin Jr.
Shut up.
Just get the other one.
Shut up. I am going to go.
Cat's right there.
Yeah, pick Cat's defense.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna base this purely off of defensive potential, and I'm taking defense based off somebody's athleticism. So if I had the defensive potential of Kenneth Faried,
wow,
then I think Kareem could do something. So give me Kenneth Faried defense.
The Manimal? Oh my God. Wow. Kenneth Faried based off of the idea.
I'm so
nice.
Pissed. I'm so mad.
You know what? Give me Karl-Anthony Towns for shooting to complete the demigod.
That was such an easy pick. There we go.
Yep. It was either Cat or Kevin Huerter.
I forgot Kevin Huerter was here.
Yep. So I have
nice
Kristaps body, Cat shooting, Kevin Garnett defense, Kenny Smith playmaking, and Kobe finishing.
Good grief, you're in your bag. I got Kevin Durant body, Kyle Korver shooting, Kawhi defense, Kyle Lowry playmaking, and Kenyon Martin finishing. How can you stop me?
Kenyon Martin?
Kenyon Martin finishing is so random.
We got Kenyon Martin, Kenneth Faried, and Kenny the Jet Smith on this list. I love it.
I have Kareem's body, Klay Thompson shooting, Kenneth Faried defense, Kemba Walker playmaking, Kyrie Irving finishing.
Kenneth Faried is so misplaced here. Never in any list history did Kenneth Faried find himself along these names ever.
Listen, you got a defender and you got a playmaker. Are they good at those things? I don't know, but you got them.
You got me. You got me. You got me cooked. You got me cooked.
Tough, man. Next thing we're gonna do, I have a list for you guys that I want you guys to react to. What I'm gonna do today is these are my most underrated players in the NBA. Guys who I think for whatever reason don't get their just due in discourse that people sleep on a little bit. And I want you guys to react to it.
Bet.
Okay.
So real simple. You guys know what underrated means. I don't gotta do any explanation. Here are my top 8 most underrated players. First off, at number 8, we got Jarrett Allen. All the talk is that him and Evan Mobley don't fit. The offense is gross. Yuck, yuck, yuck. He is so good. If we free him from the shackles of another non-shooting big, people are going to appreciate this guy is legitimately an all-star talent.
People always think about Jarrett Allen
all-star talent already. You're right.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. People always think about Jared Allen as like this amazing defender, which he is, but they don't understand that he has upgraded his scoring bag. He's a solid, passer for a big man. Like he has stuff in his bag that he can do. Definitely underrated.
And his Lego collection is outrageous.
The Lego collection is crazy, bro. And also he has one of
Might
the
be
greatest
best in the
memes of
league.
all time. He contributed to NBA history. Not many players can say that.
Yeah, listen, man, I need to see him on a team that makes more sense for him so bad. He's so good. Next name. We got Desmond Bane. I don't think people realize that he averaged an efficient 24.5 points and like 5.5 assists this year. The playmaking took a huge step with John Morant out, and he wasn't in all-star convos because the team was horrendous and all their players died, so they couldn't win games. But he played at an all-star level this year, like quite easily.
Desmond
Bane, wow.
The homie.
Yeah, I
He's so
agree,
good,
dude.
man.
Desmond Bane is he is for some reason I feel like he'll forever remain underrated for the rest of his career. Dude was underrated coming into the NBA draft. Dude's underrated now, and with all these new guards popping up, Anthony Edwards ascending and stuff like that, Desmond Bane is just an afterthought, just a guy.
If he had 6 more inches of arms, they'd be talking about him like Jaylen Brown.
Oh, 100%. Listen, they're in Memphis, so like they're never gonna be the nation's like favorite team. The Grizzlies are gonna have to win a championship for people to understand how good Desmond Bane is.
He's low key, like he's in the conversations with Jamal Murray and them as one of the best players to not make an all-star team yet.
That's
true.
facts. That's 100% true.
All right, next name. I got Scotty Barnes. I think that people listen, the Raptors are not good. Watching them play is not fun. And Scotty Barnes made an all-star, but I think people kind of treated it like a here, fucking take it type of all-star. But Scotty Barnes has a legit, incredibly high ceiling. A lot of people, if you say that like he's in the same tier as a prospect of like a Paolo Banchero, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. He's gonna be great. He's so versatile, a great defender, can pass the ball, can score. He has like top 15 player in the league ceiling, I think.
Yeah, a lot of the times whenever we talk about Scotty Barnes is because we're making jokes about Scotty Barnes. People rarely talk about him as the great basketball player that he is. He can do it all. And now that the Raptors are like rebuilding, they should be happy that they have an actual like good young piece to build around.
Yeah, and I think everybody knows he's good, but I don't think everybody like talks about him as like having legit like really high level all-star ceiling.
Because
Scotty Barnes, the player, I don't really watch that. Scotty Barnes, the streamer, I watch that.
As a content genius.
Exactly.
Definitely underrated in the content game.
Next up, LaMelo Ball. Again, we talked about him on the rankings earlier. Listen, he became overrated because he was so popular, and then now he's always injured. Everyone's like, he'll never be healthy, all this stuff that we don't appreciate him for being actually amazing because people just assume it's the hype because people like him because he's cool. He's legit incredible when he's on the basketball court. It makes me so mad that we're not able to see him play for healthy for a full season because he would be like clearly all-star level by now for consistent years if he can stay healthy.
Man, pain. When I think of LaMelo Ball, I just think of pure sadness, bro. He would have been an all-star last year if he was just continuing this trajectory, bro, that he started.
Bro,
You're
we could give him bionic ankles. The league would be so different.
Oh my God, I agree.
Bionic ankles is great. Imagine how many careers would be different if we just had bionic insert body part here. You gave Derrick Rose bionic knees? Oh my goodness.
It's over.
That's top 10 all time.
LaMelo Ball is in Zion territory of the most frustrating injuries ever that are robbing us of like a really high level player.
All he needs to do is learn how to stay healthy and learn how to drive safely, and he will be skyrocketing up. That's all he needs to focus on.
Next two, I think I got some role players up next. I got Aaron Wiggins at 4 and Denny Avdija at 3.
They don't know about Aaron Wiggins.
They don't. He's so good. He needs to get more minutes. He's everything you want from a complimentary wing, and so is Denny Avdija. As soon as Denny Avdija gets put on a high-level contender, people are going to realize, like, oh, is this Aaron Gordon? Is this Derek White? Like, he's one of those high-level role players that can really help a championship team.
I know. I do feel bad for him because he just went from trash team on the East Coast to trash team on the West Coast, and nobody is going to understand how good he is and how much of a leap he's taken since he's been in the league. But listen, if you're ever up late, you can't sleep, turn on a Blazers game, right? Watch Denny. He be hooping.
Yeah, I agree. This dude is the ultimate Swiss Army knife, or at least one of the most ultimate up-and-coming Swiss Army knives. Can pass, cut, jump shot has gotten better, bro. I ain't gonna lie. A couple years ago when I was evaluating his tape, I called him Ben Simmons with a jump shot. So much cap, but that goes to show his versatility. That's why I don't make videos no more.
He's not that, but he's real good. Man,
Ben Simmons now with a jump shot? You're not wrong.
Oh, tough. If he could finish at the rim like prime Ben Simmons, this would be an insane player.
Different player, bro.
All-star.
Yeah. At number 2, we have Colin Sexton. People forgot about him because he missed a year with an ACL injury, I think. And he was just quietly last year was like 18, 5, and 5 on great efficiency, just a really high-level offensive player. He needs to be traded so he can flourish.
He's hidden in the mountains with the Mormons. People don't know. Right?
Him, man.
Exactly. You're out there secluded. It's a weird time zone too. Listen, I think that Colin Sexton is one trade away, and I'm with you. One trade away, get you to a big market, get you a really good contract. You, sir, you can have a Foot Locker commercial really soon if you get to a bigger market. I believe you.
Put him on the Lakers. You put him on the Lakers, he's gonna be on some billboards.
Oh
my God, bro. They're going to talk about this man like he's, I don't know, goddamn Vernon Davis or something like that. I don't know if that's a good name.
Vernon?
Yeah, that's so random.
Who's that? Who's Vernon Davis?
I just butchered that like a motherfucker. I said Vernon Davis. Who's the dude? Baron Davis. There we go. Yeah. That's hilarious.
No, but listen, bring Sexton to the Lakers, man. We can make something happen. He's going to be so good.
I agree.
And last but not least, the number 1 current most underrated player in the entire NBA, Trae Young. I have never seen an offensive player this taken for granted. This man is talked about like he's Smush Parker, like he's Jordan Clarkson, like he's just a role player, no defense, empty stats offense. It's so hard to average 28 and 10 for like a 4-year period.
Keep going.
You need to stop before I decide to take him off this fucking list.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
To this.
Don't start the double hand. God, no, don't do that. I don't want to hear that.
Whoa, double hands is crazy. All right, if I had 3, I would use them. Just kidding.
You need to control yourself.
Your Trae Young munch aside, he is so taken for granted. The narratives around him are so lazy.
About to put a collar on you. Relax.
Listen, he has a beard now too, bro. He's coming into year 6 or whatever with a beard. He's coming in different,
you're in love.
Bro.
You're in love.
It's outrageous.
He can hoop and he's sexy. Oh my gosh. Like, bro, relax.
45 wins incoming next year. You'll see.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Mo, answer this question. Do you think that Trae Young is playing fair this year?
He was never playing fair.
Yeah, man, that's the end of my list.
That was a good list, not gonna lie to you.
Love that. At first I had more role players on there, but I decided to put a little bit better players because it was really easy for me to just fill it with 10 guys nobody talks about because they're role players.
Yeah.
I had to switch up a little bit, put some high level guys in there.
Nice. I like it. So, I think it's my time to shine, y'all. So, next we're gonna do, we're going to go ahead and sit down and rate NBA statues on a scale of 1 to 10. Statues have been around the game for a minute. To go ahead and give your salute to all the great NBA players from the past. Now, not all statues are the same. Some of them are ass, and some of them are actually pretty good. Pretty fun. All right, so rate the NBA statue on a scale of 1 to 10. First up, we got John Stockton doing his classic signature pose.
Finna pass on his body. I'm John Stockton. It's not bad. It's not bad.
A very regular statue. This is like quintessential NBA statue. It's a solid 6. It's just normal.
Exactly. No and they got him in like the John Stockton pose where he's just like entry pass and just throws it. So it's like I'll say like a 7. It's not bad.
Yeah, this is how he got like 19,000 of his 22,000 assists.
This is the most damning statue pose that I've ever seen, but this is also like the most damning player to receive a statue. So I understand.
He does look. I will say, he does look mad brolic in this. He looks a lot stronger than what he actually looks
Facts.
like.
They gave him some HGH in the statue. This is ridiculous.
Exactly.
You're not.
He
lying.
was not this strong.
He looks like
That's
Donovan
hilarious,
Mitchell.
That's hilarious, bro.
I'll say
All right,
7.
cool.
Got muscles for no reason. Eric Bledsoe.
7's hilarious. All right. Next up, we got Shaquille O'Neal. This is ferocious. Not gonna lie to you. It's colored.
This is
too.
elite. It's elite.
No, this is a great statue. Just listen. Sometimes a statue can be real average. The pose can be whatever. It's just okay. Kobe Bryant. This one nails the essence of Shaq so well, getting him in the perfect position. Mwah, 10 out of 10.
I mean, this is what he did most of his career, bro. Put a lot of his nuts in a lot of different players' faces. He went ahead and disrespected so many people, bro. This embodies Shaq in his career and just how dominant he was. What do you do with that? 10 to me.
Yeah, this pose is also kind of crazy though.
It's 10. Listen, to have your gooch up in the air like this for eternity is wild. So, but I mean, shout out to you though. shout out to Shaq.
Let it be
He
known.
just spread out.
This is the second time in TD3 history that Donovan has said the word gooch.
That's what it's called. That's what it is. That's the term. He just spread out.
Multi-time gooch offender.
Is that not
You're
what we're
on
discussing?
Gooch Watch for sure, bro. You're on Gooch Watch. Holy
Is that
shit.
not? Is that not the topic of conversation?
Gooch Watcher. Ew.
It's just all out. He's at 10-2. It's wild.
10-2.
He said, ah.
I'm here. Ah.
Oh my god. What
Yeah, next one, man. Fuck.
All right. Next up, we got
Ew.
Dirk Nowitzki. This was the prototype. This is nasty
Ew.
timing right here. This is not the official statue. This was an idea.
Ew. This is disgusting. This is so nasty. This is disgusting. Ew. Yuck. Gross.
It's killing me. I can't.
This is so nasty.
Crying so
This
hard.
is a freaky statue, bro.
Bro, there's so many tears on my eyes right now.
Bro, they're thinking about all the freaking nasty people in Dallas. Good God, they said this statue got versatility.
Oh my goodness.
Donovan saw this and he was like a Victorian child drinking Mountain Dew. He couldn't handle it. He was
Oh my God.
This is freakazoids,
Get
man.
away.
This is crazy.
Oh, this is so bad. I like the idea of him, the fadeaway, obviously classic historic move in the NBA, but damn, bro, I'm so happy this.
Who's
come
in
out as
these
a real
meetings?
thing.
Who greenlighted this? Did Mark Cuban do this himself? Like, this is a bad
He
idea.
definitely gave it the green light. Good God,
This is a
Thank
bad
God it didn't
idea.
See the day of light.
Thank God they fixed it, man. Thank God this didn't get put into the world.
Yeah, exactly. There have been some
You know what I love?
horrendous crimes done in this thing.
I feel like a lot of our audience is gonna see this and not know why it's so gross, and I'm happy for them. Keep your youth, keep your unpoisoned eyes.
Exactly. Don't do no research. What's next? Oh man. Next up, we got Magic Johnson. This is good.
Again, they made him brolic as hell. He looks muscular as shit. Is this LeBron?
That don't even look like Magic in the face, to be honest.
I'm gonna stay quiet.
I know what you're thinking, and I was gonna say the same thing.
I'm gonna stay quiet.
What are you gonna say?
I can't say it, but I can text it.
Nah. I refuse to say this out loud. Yes. I'm not gonna say it. I was like, oh my God. I said, maybe they were right. Maybe their assumptions were right.
Are you saying maybe you gotta give it to the racists?
They were on to something, bro. If it's like this, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Just okay, so I don't. People probably. Do people know what you're talking about right now? I don't even know.
I don't think they won't know. They won't know. Maybe they will because you say racist. But
let's just say Donovan's talking about the way they made his face look.
Yes.
They made him look crazy.
Oh man, his instincts look crazy in this photo, bro. That's all I'll say. Yeah, that shit looks crazy, bro. Oh my God, this is a 0 for sure. I like the idea. The pose is cool, directing the offense, but come on,
man. Let's just keep it moving.
Next up, we got Ja Morant.
We need to stop making statues. We gotta stop making them.
What happened to the rest of his arms?
Did they put Desmond Bane's arm on him?
What the fuck is this big dummy standing in the middle of the court, man? Oh my God.
This is 0. Why is this chest
he has LeBron's chest. I think he has.
You know what this looks like?
LeBron's chest. He has LeBron's chest and like Zuri's arms. The arms are so tiny.
You know what this looks like? You know the memes when they're like what the worst play would look like, and it's like somebody's body in like just like the worst attributes. It looks like they did that for Ja.
Yeah, it's like Big Baby Davis's body and Matt McClung's wingspan.
Oh my God, bro. This is legit horrendous. Fire.
What is this from? What the fuck is this?
Bro, this is homage to I believe one of the parks in South Carolina. This is homage to one of the parks in South Carolina for Ja. Oh, bro.
Oh yeah, they be hating down there.
But they need to take this shit down. This is even worse for the brand. Get his lawyers on the phone again.
Who does this look like? It doesn't look like Ja at all.
Looks like some rapper, to be honest with you. Don't look like Ja. Some drill rapper.
Some rapper?
From Atlanta, probably.
Why a rapper?
You know why. you know exactly why.
Something about this face says rapper.
There's something very distinct that says rapper, and you know what it is.
Except for how did the segment get so unhinged?
Oh my God.
0 out of 10. This statue is beyond comprehension.
Oh man, this statue is sick work. Next up, we got Kobe Bryant.
Apparently, this is what Kobe wanted. Listen, I wouldn't have picked this for Kobe, but if it's what he wanted, then shout out to Kobe.
There you
this
go.
Is so anticlimactic.
7 out of 10. It's all right. You want something a little bit cooler, a little bit more Kobe. Not the coolest stance in the world. They fucked it up like 4 times.
You could have got the fist pump, right? That would have been cool.
Yeah, they had to hit some revisions to the statue because they fucked up a few important details. But
that's so embarrassing.
Eventually, we got to a decent statue.
Yeah, this is solid 6, I guess. They could have chose so many more poses, though. For sure, I agree. This is a L, major L. What does this even mean, bro? I mean, I get it. I know what it means.
She's very beautiful to me.
That's what I immediately think of. Not Kobe Bryant, bro. Meme culture's ruined my mind.
She's very gorgeous to me.
Oh, bro. What's next? Oh, next up we got Allen Iverson. They just unveiled this a couple months ago, actually.
I don't know if it's the angle, but he looks like an 8-year-old in this. Why does he look so small?
This is like Mike. This is Calvin Cambridge. Like that's exactly what this is. And it doesn't help that the statue is like 2 feet tall. I know that they do it for everybody, but like maybe we should just start making bigger statues, right? Let's stop being cheap when it comes to statue making.
Yeah.
The pose is cool. Allen Iverson in costume for Halloween.
Oh,
Quite
100%.
literally, this is what it looks like, bro. He looks like something that snuck onto Earth, to be honest with you. It doesn't look really natural at all.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't look natural at all. The
it's way
pose
too
is a little
small,
bit off.
But the pose is cool. I mean, it's Allen Iverson doing his crossover.
It is a
I
pose.
don't hate that part.
For how they made other people's like faces look on some of the other statues that we've seen, and just like in general, this could have been much worse. And if the worst thing about it is that it's too small, you did okay. You did fine.
Yeah.
True.
I was a solid 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
7's good.
I go 8 because everything about it is actually good.
Yeah, okay.
I
8's
like
cool.
it.
Yeah.
I mean.
What
All
is
right.
this?
Next up, I believe this is Wilt Chamberlain. Yep.
There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on.
Are they trying to make him like a Greek god or like what? What is
The
this?
problem
This is
like
what
that,
Wilt
like a
looked like
480p
back in the
picture.
day. They never seen no man hoop like this before back in the 1950s, bro. Yes, he was that.
That's true.
This looks like the Game of Thrones throne. Like there's so much going on. It looks so. What's the word?
Are both of these things like supposed to be Wilt Chamberlain? They try to have like two like Wilt moments in the statue.
Yeah, I believe so. And it just didn't work
Also-
out. There's so much going on.
Also, this is also from the Sixers. So is this also a tiny statue? Because if so, this is too much going on for a little statue that big.
This looks to be huge. I think.
It is huge. It's big as hell.
It's
It's
big.
big as hell.
Okay.
There's just so much
You
shit
picked
going
out
on.
like a 480p picture, so it's hard for me to tell what's going on. Like I can't even like really visually identify what all this is.
Yeah,
Bro,
I'm very unsure.
Looks like
I'm going 2 out of
contours are
10 because I
carrying
can't tell
him.
what's going on.
Yeah, this
Next
is
one.
well. Next up, of course, we got Michael Jordan.
I've actually never seen what MJ's face looks like on the statue. I've just seen the side view, and that's all I need. This is hard. This is one of the best statues ever. This is the Michael Jordan logo. This is Jordan. 10 out of 10.
It's a 10. Yeah, they nailed it.
It's a
You
10.
have one job as a statue creator, one main job, and that's get the pose right and make it clearly identifiable. And make it clearly identifiable as one player. This is that.
Okay. If LeBron had a statue, what would it be?
Probably the Choctaws.
Chalk.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah. I would
Chalk
either
or like one of his celebrations, like the
I
silencer
was thinking
thing.
that, like hitting the chest.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
it would
block.
either-
That would be hard.
maybe like a tomahawk dunk, like a breakaway dunk.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably that. I think it'd also be cool if it's him like holding the trophy. Just that one picture of him after winning 2016 where he's like crying, holding the trophy all tight.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
I can't wait till I see LeBron James statues, bro. I'm gonna go take some.
It's gonna be the Choctaws. It's gonna be he's gonna have like his arms like stretched out.
Yeah, that or a
Bro, he
tomahawk.
has-
I can see it being that tomahawk dunk.
He has too many
Yeah.
moments in his career that are like so statue worthy.
All right. Save the glaze. It's fine.
All right. Next up, we got Larry Bird. Larry
Is
the
this a
Legend.
college one?
Yeah. He has his college
Indiana
jersey on.
State. That's good.
Mhm.
I like this jersey. This is not bad. I'm going like a 9 out of 10. I think you probably, and it probably happens because of like it's old. The writing on the jersey could look a little bit clearer, but as for like Larry Bird, his shot form, everything, this is a good statue.
They nailed the hair and face. Like that. That's crazy.
Thanks.
This is generally one
Is
of
this
the
a
best
10?
statues I've seen. I
This
think
is
it
a 10?
might be
Yeah,
a
it's a
10.
10.
And it's so
It's
basic too, but they hit all the nice, simple things. I like it.
I fuck
Good
with
for
it.
them.
There we go.
Good
Larry
for
Bird.
Indiana State.
Exactly.
And that's the last one.
Perfect.
What a
What a segment.
clip, man.
Next thing we're gonna do a game where I'm gonna name 2 NBA players, and I want to know which one of these players you would want to take the last shot. Who's taking your game-winning shot? They're both on the court.
Ooh, who's more clutch?
Who
is
has that
talk
clutch
about-
gene?
talk right
I
here.
like it.
Yep.
Now we're in summer for real. Let's do it.
It's time to enter Skip Bayless mode. Who has the clutch factor? The clutch gene. First off, Anthony Edwards or Jason Tatum?
I don't trust Jason Tatum at all with the ball in his hands with 5 minutes left. I'll take Anthony Edwards, and it's not a question.
I wouldn't trust Jason Tatum to do nothing but teach me how to tie my tie. I'm taking Anthony Edwards for sure.
Oh my God, y'all are talking about Jason Tatum like he's fucking Al Farouk Aminu. Come on.
No. I mean, listen. He's better than some players. He's not better than Anthony Edwards with the game on the line. Clutch, you have to understand. Clutch, I don't care what the numbers say. Clutch is a feeling, right? I have to feel
Clutch
like
is
the
a
ball's
feeling.
going in.
It's an idea.
And Anthony, exactly. And Anthony Edwards, I trust him.
You don't respect that one game-winning spinning layup that Jason Tatum had?
That's such a fake game winner, bro.
What?
No one cares
when,
about
when
that.
Kevin
Now,
Durant messed up like crazy? No, I'm okay.
Y'all hate Jason Tatum so much.
Now, I do respect the,
He was just
one of the
running,
game winners that he had
found the
over
ball.
Philadelphia
It's like,
76ers.
oh, here it is. Here it is. Like,
That's
relax.
hilarious. That is. That's hilarious.
When he tries to hit game winners, they don't really go in like that. So
Joel Embiid or Giannis?
I trust
I
Giannis
don't-
getting to the rim way more, for sure.
I don't care if it was a three, a free throw, anything. If the game is on the line, I will never put the ball in Joel Embiid's hands. I'm taking Giannis.
Even though Giannis can't shoot.
I've seen Giannis take three. I saw a clip today about Giannis taking a step back three to tie the game.
Yeah,
I know.
and for that step back three, that was for him
Yep.
to become the franchise leader in points. So I'm taking Giannis.
Damn.
Yep.
I'm taking Giannis. The clutch gene is just
Sorry,
there, bro.
Joel. Actually,
Intangible.
I'm not
man.
sorry, Joel. You brought this on yourself. Okay.
Fourth quarter, Joel Embiid is quite the presence.
Yeah, exactly. If it was first quarter, second quarter, maybe third quarter, I'm taking Joel for sure because he's different.
Well, listen, not even second quarter. Towards the end of half, if the clock is running down, I'm not giving it to Joel.
Next up, Ben Simmons or Andre Drummond?
Oh shit! How do you want to lose? If they're both getting viral as hell because Andre Drummond has some hilarious lowlights and Ben Simmons' lowlights are just depressing. I think I might go with Andre Drummond because I want to laugh. Ben Simmons,
think I might-
matter.
Listen, if I'm gonna go out, I want to go out fighting. At least I know that Andre Drummond will put up a shot. Ben Simmons won't. He won't even look at the basket. So I have to take Andre Drummond.
He'll throw a grenade to the shooter right next to him with half a second left.
Exactly.
Cam Thomas is gonna
If you
throw it real
don't
fast.
dunk on Trae Young, you are 6'10". Please.
That picture's hilarious. Every time I see it, it looks like Trae Young just like shrinks somehow more and more and more. It doesn't look real.
It's so crazy because he really could have had like the iconic picture of his career. He could have put his nuts in Trae Young's face and the series would have been over. And he was like, no, I don't want it. It's insane.
What a sliding glass doors moment. The butterfly effect that would have happened if he would have yammed on Trae Young. The whole league would be different right now.
That's crazy.
And that's not an exaggeration either.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But
It would have
instead,
been
Trae
them,
Young heads
bro.
all
It would have
that.
been them versus the Bucks in the conference finals. Oh, wow. That would have been,
That'd have been a series.
wow.
But instead, you had Trae Young giving Drew Holiday 48 points in game one. Tough scene.
And then losing.
He got hurt.
Nah,
Next
He
one.
stepped on a ref's ankle.
Jordan Poole or Cam Thomas?
Ooh.
ooh, this is interesting. This is
We got some
interesting.
irrational confidence in the building. Listen, no matter you can say a lot about these guys. I can promise you they will take that shot. They will not be scared. They will hoist that shit.
They will. They will.
I like Cam Thomas, me personally. Every time he shoots it, he can manipulate me into thinking that it's going to go in. For Jordan Poole, he's a little bit indecisive, does way too much, and he also might take a game-winning shot from too far back. I'm taking Cam
I think Jordan
Thomas.
Poole is gonna be Jordan Poole is gonna be trying to look sexy while he does it. He's gonna be doing a little too much, trying to make it have a little pizzazz. Cam Thomas is straight to contest the jumper. We know what he's getting. He's getting right to his spot.
That's true. I want to empower Jordan Poole because I think that obviously he's better than what he showed in Washington. I think if you give him some confidence, he'll be okay. But like you guys said, he just does too much. I just need one crossover, get to the shot, and Cam Thomas would do that. So I'm going Cam
I think
Thomas.
this might be Cam Thomas could have a really long career as like a special teams player if he was just put in the game for game winning shots to go get the tough bucket. The same way you have like a speed wide receiver that has one run roll with the team. I think low-key Cam Thomas could do that.
Being called a special teams player is so damning. Special teams.
If Cam Thomas had played in a different era, he would have been like the professional scorer guy. Like he really could have been Lou Will, Jamal Crawford like 8 years ago. But now it's like, look. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if people look at him like that.
We'll see, man. Next up, Luka Doncic or Steph Curry?
I don't want to turn my back on Steph. But man, this guy Luka is dangerous. This white man is dangerous. If there's 5 seconds left and he puts the shot up, I'm shocked if he misses it. I think that every shot in the clutch from Luka is going in. I think I might have to take Luka.
With how easy it is for Luka to get to the rim, I can understand why you'd want to take Luka. But me personally, I'm just going by the percentages. Just give me Steph. More efficient. Just give me Steph. I'm a math guy.
I don't think Steph's last 5 minutes is more efficient than Luka's.
You're right. It's not. I'm looking at the entire game, though.
Well, the point is who's taking the last
Steph
shot,
won't have us in those
positions.
Shot. You give a good team around Steph, he wouldn't have us in a clutch position. It's okay.
Ooh.
Steph. Exactly. That's the
we'll
game.
We'll just win the game. I see.
Okay, next one. Jimmy Butler or Paul George?
Oh, this is pretty easy, right?
Very easy.
Paul George is going to hit the side of the backboard sometimes.
Thank you.
Great player. He can get you through he can go ahead and get you what you want in the first, second, and third. But them fourth quarters, yikes. I'm leaning Jimmy Butler.
Listen, when Paul George decides that it's time to bully, listen, there's not a lot of people who can miss like him. So I'm gonna go with Jimmy Butler here.
No respect for this 35-year-old bully. Unbelievable.
Ball game.
That's hilarious.
Zion Williamson or James Harden? This is hilarious to imagine.
It is. Sometimes you just need a jumper, and I still believe that James Harden can get a jumper off. So I think I'm going to go with James Harden.
I agree. James Harden for sure. We've seen him.
What do I need? Before. How much time is left? What do I need?
You got 10 seconds left. You're down by 1.
10 seconds left, down by one. James Harden's going to go ahead and try to dance. He might overthink things. Zion Williamson's going to go through people.
I'll take Zion in that situation.
Listen, he can run halfback dive. He doesn't get to that free throw line.
Yeah. But at the worst, we're going to get 2 free throws to get a shot up. Or even if he misses, Zion can get his own rebound and make it there. Facts. You're gonna get multiple opportunities if you get Zion going downhill. Where James Harden's at that point in his career where if he's going downhill, it's not a guarantee that he's gonna blow by somebody. So
I think it's a guarantee he won't.
Yeah, wow. 10 seconds left. I think I might go Zion.
Okay.
Wow. James Harden, they're disrespecting you over here.
Draymond Green or Tobias Harris?
Oh my God. Tobias, no. I'm taking. Who the hell are you taking at this point? I don't know.
You tell me.
Draymond did shoot really well from three-point line this year. I don't know what the situation is, but I might be taking Draymond Green.
Okay, so we put Draymond in the high post. Let him hit some jab steps. You might have some shit.
I think I might take Draymond because I think that he has more confidence in himself than Tobias Harris does.
I don't know, because he said in podcasts before that he really don't like to shoot it at all because he feels like he has better options than him putting it up. I don't know.
But if he was on the same court as Tobias Harris, he would look over and he'd be like, "Nah, I gotta take the shot." Like it's not really a big decision like that.
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay,
that's true.
Shout out Draymond Green. Last thing we're gonna do. So, are you guys familiar with the site Ranker?
Yes. I am. Actually, no, I've never been on it before.
Ranker has a lot of like lists that are voted on by everybody that goes on the site, and they rank things. And there's an NBA category, so you can go on there and see like the top 10 players from the 2003 draft, the top 10 shooters of all time, so and so. They're voted on by the public, so it's like a conglomerate list of that everybody votes on. I pulled up the ranker list for the top 10 white players of all time, and I want you guys to guess who is on this list.
We love racial content on this channel, and I love this list. All right, let's get into it.
All right.
So, real
Top 10
simple.
white
I want you
players.
guys to guess the top 10 white NBA players of all time according to Ranker.
Larry Bird,
Larry Bird is number 1.
Kevin McHale,
Kevin McHale is number 9.
Wow.
What's your man? Bob Cousy,
Bob Cousy did not make the list.
John Havlicek,
They got John Havlicek at 10.
John Stockton.
This man is eating.
John Stockton's at 3. Man, Donovan knows his white boys.
He is eating.
George
These are
Mikan.
his people. George Mikan did not make the list.
Wow.
Luka.
They put Luka at number 6 already.
Nice.
Okay.
Is Jokic there?
Jokic.
Jokic is number 4 already.
Dirk.
Wow.
Dirk is number 2 already.
Does JJ Redick get the aura pass?
No, JJ Redick does not get the aura pass. JJ Redick is not
Steve-
touching this fucking list.
Damn, I would have put him on the list. They don't know shit. Is Steve Nash there?
Steve Nash is number 7.
So
Nice.
what do we need left?
8 and 5.
8 and 5. All right, let's think about the white boys
Long
throughout
and hard.
history.
Pull your Rolodex of NBA pasty princes.
Dan Marley.
Wait. Okay.
Dan Marley, what a deep cut. No, it's not Dan Marley.
Does Jason Kidd pass in this scenario?
No. That
I'm
is
just
a black
asking.
man.
Just asking. You never know. People are confused.
No, Jason Kidd is not on this list.
Okay. Just
All right, let's think about like the all-time. Is Pau Gasol or Marc Gasol on this list?
Powell is actually like number 13 or something, but no, he's not 10.
Okay. 8 and 5.
Okay.
What eras are we missing?
Is Bill Walton there?
Oh,
Bill
true.
Walton was number 12. Bill Walton's not top 10.
Oh, really?
These guys are
Damn.
both old players. They're not modern. They're like, yeah, from a while ago.
Is Arvydas Sabonis there?
Of course he's not here. Arvydas
nice,
Sabonis?
Yeah. It was Jokic before Jokic. These boys who are ranking him don't know anything about some of the best white bigs. Damn. Okay. Oh,
Give me- Go ahead.
One of these is incredibly obvious. I don't know how he wasn't the first name you thought about when you think of NBA white boy.
Oh, Jerry West.
Jerry West is number 5.
And then is
Below
Bob Pettit
Nikola
on here?
Jokic.
That's crazy.
All you have now is number 8.
Is Bob Pettit on here?
Bob Pettit is not on here, but that'd be a good pick.
Bob Pettit had a bag on him. Okay.
That is a good
Number
pick. That is a
8
good
is
pick.
like the swaggy white boy of his time.
White
He
chocolate.
just bleeds aura. Did you just say white chocolate?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
Shut
you're
the
right.
hell
He
up.
does bleed aura. He bleeds aura. The swaggy white boy of the time.
Swaggy white boy.
There's
I'm
the
gonna-
most swag you could imagine.
I'm gonna hate myself for this. Okay.
I'm gonna be
So not
very
Bob
very
Pettit.
upset.
I can't exaggerate
Pistol
how much
Pete!
aura
Pistol
this guy
Pete!
had.
Ah!
Yeah, Pistol Pete Maravich.
There we
number
go.
8.
There we go.
There we go.
I knew it.
Good
I
job.
knew it. I knew it.
And there you go. That's
There
the
we
full
go.
list. And that's the full episode. We're done, y'all. The first episode of ranking season is done. It's behind us. Stay tuned over the next 5 weeks. We're going to keep it going all summer long. It's ranking season.
So what should they comment?
You tell me. Yeah, you're laughing at something. You're thinking, what do you...
Gooch
do you have in
Watcher!
We'll see y'all next week.